Okay. Theoretically, potentially, possibly, I am live now. I hope. Hello, everyone. And thank you for the happy birthdays. Started my birthday with absolutely terrible sleep, by the way, which is goddamn. Neighbors having a fucking party. Just bass through the wall all night. These motherfuckers. Anyway, hello, hi, I'm a little tired, but still, I've committed to doing this, so we're holy shit, that's a lot of happy birthdays. Thank you very much. And thank you, Lunatic, for that super chat. So, okay, I'm gonna wait for... I'm gonna wait for the chat to calm down for a second, so I can actually... am I gonna need to put slow mode on? You kids. We're gonna wait for the chat to calm down for a second. And in the meantime, let me explain the rules of the situation. Now, I cannot possibly do a ranking of every single skin in League of Legends, because there's fucking thousands of them. Like, it's too many. So, we're gonna be doing a ranking of each of the skin lines in League of Legends. And in order to define what is or isn't a skin line, I'm relying on Riot's own official categorizations of what a skin line is. So you can see I've created these little composite images down here, and I've decided on 67 of them. Specifically because some skin lines only contain 2 or 3 skins, at which point it's like, it's not really a skin line, is it? It's just 3 skins that happen to look vaguely similar, but there isn't really a thing. And some skin lines are part of skin universes. So for example, Arclight contains both Arclight skins and the Justicar skins. And the same thing with the Cosmic skins, they are a part of the Event Horizon skin universe, which is both the Cosmic and the Dark Star skins. And I think that's actually one of Riot's biggest skin lines overall. They've got something like 15, 20 skins in that one. So they're part of skin universes, so I've conglomerated skin universes into their same. So Event Horizon is both the Cosmic and the Dark Star skins, which is good for the Cosmic skins, because they're really boring, but the Dark Star skins are really cool. So first of all that. Then I have excluded all the esports skins, like all the World Championship skins, all the, like, what are they called? Like, all the sports skins for, like, public sports events, the Olympic skins, the promotional stuff, all of that IRL event skin stuff, leaving that out as well, because mostly they're not very good or interesting. We're also not doing Conqueror and Olympics and Victorious event skins, the ones that you get at the end of the season, because again, they all just look the fucking same, and like they're reward things. They're not really meant to do anything, I think. So that wasn't very interesting, to me at least. So we ended up with 76 different skin lines, and the way we're going to handle it is that I have looked through all of these skin lines, and I have picked the best and worst of each skin line. For example, here we have Academy Darius, the best one of his line, and the worst one of his line, which is Academy Vladimir. And so we'll be taking a look at the best and worst of each of the skin lines as we go through it. And then in addition to that, and I'll get to the super chats that are coming in just a second, because there's a bunch of them. And as we go through, maybe sometimes I'll pull in like skins that are also part of the line, but where I didn't rank them. We'll talk about those as well. But I've only prepared so many assets for the thing. Anyway, good grief, there's 1,100 people here. All right. There's some happy birthdays from Lunatic Thinker and Master Sayernort. Thank you very much. How long do you think this stream will take? I have no idea, Noah White. I thought the last time I did a rankings stream for League of Legends Champions, I thought it would take 5 hours, and it ended up taking like 8 or 9. So I don't know. Happy birthday, you're old now. Yes, I know, Phoenix. So I'm so terribly, terribly old. Happy birthday from Dracolord. Thank you very much. And from Toro Oikawa. Ignis Rex, I hope you had all the cake. I have a cake in my fridge that's waiting for me, and I'll eat that once we're done here. And from Sandra, happy birthday. Thank you very much. So, if over the course of the thing, like, because chat is going pretty fast. If you want to tell me something, super chats are an option for that, but please don't feel pressured to, like, send me money or anything because it's my birthday. It's fine. Don't worry about it. If you want to tip me, that's okay, but don't feel like you have to. I don't want this to be, like, pressure on the thing. I'm 32, by the way, for those who are wondering. I am old, I am wizened, and I am crumbling into dust as we speak. So, I guess let's get into it. And starting with the Academy skin line, which is the first one in front of ranking. And the Academy skin line for me is like a solid B, in the sense that their skins are like, they're good, they're decent enough. Like, especially, like, Ari in a schoolgirl outfit, sure, that makes sense. That's a perfectly fine skin line. But they're also not like, wow, exceptional. They're just like, oh yeah, it's Japanese high school thing. That's a solid B for me. The best one of them, I believe, is the Darius skin, specifically because he fits so perfectly into that, like, anime high school bully dude with the pompadour thing going on. I don't know why they kept the spiky shoulder pads, but yeah. But Darius, like, he fits really well into that role, and it's nice to see Darius have some more lighthearted skins that make him a little bit more of a funny character, rather than just having him be a frowny-faced badass all the time, which is like the default mode of all of his skins, pretty much. On the other end of that, we have poor Vladimir, where, like, the concept of the skin is, like, fine. Like, he's this dandy boy, rich kid, like, school club president or whatever, is, like, fine. But in execution, because Vladimir's an old character model, and he's an old character in general, it doesn't look like it's... None of Vladimir's skins are great, but this one just looks especially... Like, he looks like someone who couldn't decide whether they wanted to cosplay Snape or Malfoy, and then they just kind of mashed both things together really badly, and they've been hitting the gym way too much to be skinny, like, for either of those characters. It's just like... He looks better in the splash, but the actual character model of the skin is no bueno, frankly. So for me, the Academy line is like a solid B. It's fine. It's not great. Like, Headmistress Fiora is hot, but it's... yeah. Oh god, more super chats. Hello. I caught a stream. Hello, Sky and Gladfire Fangen stream. To look me first day. Thank you very much, Johnny Fireflame. What did you say? Give you birthday money? Okay, no. I said, don't feel pressured, Phoenix. So I know you're joking, but don't feel pressured, please. Happy birthday for the best rodent father. I hope you and your little mischief are handling well with it. Yeah, doing okay. You can check them out over on the vlog channel if you want. Happy birthday, Sky, and 10-hour stream. God, I hope not. I hope it doesn't turn into a 10-hour one, because good lord, I won't survive that. I haven't slept well. So that's Academy. Moving on to the second skin line in our lineup, that's the Albion skin line. And the Albion skin line includes Blackthorn Morgana, Nottingham Ezreal, Sherwood Forest Ashe, and Meridian Kayle. Now, Kayle and Morgana, they got a lot better since the Kayle and Morgana rework, especially Viridian Kayle actually looks pretty cool and badass now. Unfortunately, it also includes Sherwood Ashe, and I don't think I'll surprise anyone when I say that, like, the Ashe skins are not gonna come away from this stream looking that great, because a lot of them, this is one of her very old, basically it's the palette swap of her normal character design, and I will say, when she is supposed to be in the Sherwood Forest, this outfit makes a lot more sense than when she's supposed to be running around in the frozen tundras of the Freljord, but she's still the weakest skin of that particular line. And Ezreal, who is cosplaying Jarrow Lightfeather in this particular version, after his rework, became actually a really decent fantasy skin line with like a magic elf archer. Hey, that makes sense. It's perfectly fine, but it's like one of those, it's like, there's nothing exciting about it. It's a bunch of palette swaps that have sort of slowly been upgraded into something that's a little bit less crappy over time. Yeah, it's a green Ashe chroma. Like, that's basically, it should be turned into a chroma, or Ashe needs a complete rework to give her an actual decent character, and then they can do something fun with the skins. Happy birthday, ready for the long haul. Thank you, Johnny Yu. Right. Moving on to the April Fool's skins. Now, this one's a bit of a mixed bag for me, because the April Fool's skin lines include... Let me see if I can find the list. I wrote them all down here, but I'm terrible at... No. There. Jesus. Meow Kai. Yeah. The April Fool's skin lines is like a really big one because it includes the cats versus dogs skins. And it includes a whole bunch of different like joke skins of all different kinds. Like definitely not Blitzcrank and definitely not Vel'Koz are both part of it. And just like a whole bunch of joke skins all at once, which makes it a bit of a mess to try and sort of rank the whole April Fool's skin line thing on its own. But the problem with it is that some of the joke skins are like scattered over disparate other skin lines, so that if I wanted to not rank them all as April Fools, then I wouldn't be able to rank them at all because some of them only contain like 2 or 3 skins in their concept line. That being said, my favorite one of them all, of the April Fool skins, is definitely not Vel'Koz. Just because it has the Octodad thing going on with Vel'Koz in like a suit and tie with too many arms and a coffee cup and like a pair of glasses with only one glass in them and a hat. That to me is just like, that's funny while still being kind of dumb and dad joke cringe-worthy-ish. It's a pretty good version of that. On the other side of that, the worst one, for me at least, is Meowkai. Because the whole joke of the skin is just he summons cats, little kitty cats, instead of summoning ghouls. But the best you could come up with for a cat-themed Yorick skin is to have normal as Yorick, but he's wearing like a cat onesie. You couldn't just have made him a furry, or it's like there's other opportunity. He doesn't even have a cute little cat tail. It's like either you want to do the cutesy silly thing and you go 100% in on it and you give them like full kitty cat tail and like make him do a meow pose and go silly, or otherwise you don't, because otherwise it's just a blue dude in a pink suit. It's not great. So the April Fool's is another one that lands in B because its best skins, like the really good ones, are really good, but its worst ones are just like kind of boring and a little bit cringe-worthy in the not so fun way. Oh god, more super chats. Good lord, I never get to say anything, am I? Happy birthday, right for long. Yeah. Here's some more Snake Eater memes. Well, we won't be climbing any ladders this time around, but maybe in the next episode of Boss Designs of Dark Souls. Foreign H, happy birthday, love your videos and commitment to BLM. Thank you very much. Bless this day we got this stream. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, Tao. Brendan Davey, hope you have a wonderful birthday. So do I. So do I. Right, where were we? Right, Arcade. Now, Arcade for me is... I've struggled with that one because the best Arcade skin, in my opinion, is Arcade Sona, just because it's such a brilliant execution of her base character design. She has this board floating in front of her anyway on her base character design, so let's turn the board into like an arcade control stick with buttons and a little bit of a piano key thing going on. And she's got this lovely like 1980s themed rave aesthetic with like bubbly, very suitable to Sona's personality. The best arcade skins, like Arcade Misfortune, Arcade Sona, are really fucking good. I really like them, and they're joy. When I play League of Legends regularly, whenever I play Sona, always Arcade Sona. DJ Sona is nice, but Arcade Sona is my girl. But then the arcade skins have, like, the worst part of them, which is something like Battle Boss Yasuo over here, which is, I don't... No, this is terrible. Like, this is not a... He doesn't look... Okay, so... The thing that Arcade has evolved into, the way that the skin line is approaching its particular aesthetic, is that it takes this broad amalgamation of like voxel and pixel-based like sort of graphic tropes as well, mixing it in with a little bit of Tron, with the whole like neon light inside of a computer kind of aesthetic thing that's sort of vaguely going on. And that's like, okay, sometimes like Arcade Ari does it pretty well. Arcade Caitlyn's pretty decent, but then there's stuff like this one where it's just fucking Yasuo, but he's blue and neon, and he doesn't look like he doesn't look like an homage to classic video games, which was the whole point of the arcade skin line. He doesn't look like anything from a modern video game either, because no modern video game has a design sensibility that's that terrible. It's just Yasuo, but he's got some different colors on, and there's some neon. Vaguely. It's terrible. Like, I really don't... I can't with this skin. And that's the problem with Arcade, is, like, the best skins in there are S tier. Like, they're amazing. But the worst ones are, like, just dumpster fire to me. Terrible. I don't like them at all. Which means I kind of have... So, like, I'm putting it in A because I like Arcade Sona so much, but, like, they probably deserve to be in B as well, because the delta, like, the gulf between the best and worst is so fucking wide. Right, happy Womb Escape Day. Hope you have a good day. I'm already having a pretty good day, actually, because I enjoy doing these streams. And so, someone mentioned in chat, by the way, Demacian Vice. We're not going to be ranking Demacian Vice on this stream, because Demacian Vice only has 2 skins in it, and that's not really a skin line, that's just 2 skins. So that one doesn't go on the rankings, but if it did, it would be an A tier for me. Okay. Moving on to Arclight. Now, as I said previously, Arclight includes both Arclight and Justicar. And that's kind of also where the best and worst split goes along, which actually splits across most recent and one of the oldest skins in that particular line. My favorite of the Arclight skins is probably going to be Arclight Yorick. Just because he has that sense of, like, being this ancient, venerable protector of some fantasy world somewhere with, like, his golden crown and his big, wise beard, where really it uses Yorick's physique to craft a character who believably feels like some ancient guardian of light from some fantasy realm somewhere in the universe. Like, that works really well for me. And especially with his particle effects and stuff in-game, he looks really good. Like, that's a really good execution of the concept. On the other hand, then there's Justicar Syndra. And it's not like a terrible skin. It's not terrible, it's just you can tell that it's really, really old, and it was created long before the Arclight and Justicar skin lines started to have a consistent aesthetic about them, because it's just like, she's just wearing, like, red, and then gold, and then there's white also, and then it's not nearly as well put together. It's not terrible, it's just, you can tell that they didn't really know what exactly a Justicar was supposed to be in the game when they came up with this one. So, Arclight for me is a solid A, because, like, there's some good skins in there, and, like, Justicar Aatrox is a little boring, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. So, like, the best of the Arclight skins are good, and the worst of them are fine, and that to me puts it, like, up around a decent A tier. Which is kind of the same story that we've got as we head into Arctic Ops. Because again, with Arctic Ops, we have, that one includes both stuff like Swain here. Let me see if I can find it. I have lists of all. It's Arctic Ops, Gragas, Kennen, Varys, Arctic Warfare, Caitlyn, which is pretty bad, Northern Front Swain, and Northern Storm Volibear. And they're like, Arctic Front Swain is fucking amazing. Like, this is an amazing freaking skin, because it does such a good job of blending the little bit of fantasy element that Swain always has with his magic hand into something that, like, appropriates a modern military aesthetic with this sort of fantasy Northern Front, kind of a little bit, Full Metal Alchemist aesthetic, like a little bit of that particular sort of semi-fashy military aesthetic there, with this sense of a grizzled Russian commander holding together the front against the encroach of the Nazis in the 1940s or something along those lines. All of that comes together really well with Swain, who already has that whole being commander of a military force aesthetic thing going for him, and makes for a really solid skin. And then there's poor Kennen, who's just old. Like, it's not terrible. It's had some nice texture updates, so it looks decent on his model, even though his model is kind of terrible these days. But it just looks old, and he doesn't, like, if skins like Arctic Ops, Gragas, and Varys kind of establish this sort of modern sci-fi military aesthetic a little bit, where it's like, oh, they have these modern sci-fi tools. And then we have stuff like Arctic Warfare Caitlyn and Arctic Warfare Northern Front Swain that take it more in sort of a World War II aesthetic direction. And then there's Arctic Ops Kennen, who's just like, I guess he's a snow ninja who uses magic? He doesn't fit into either, and, like, Arctic Ops as a whole is kind of confused because it's a bunch of really old skins and some newer ones that don't really fit together. But Kennen is so out of place, because he's like, he's a lightning ninja in the snow who uses magic in modern military gear, and it's all over the place. And again, it's just because he's old. It's an old skin. It was created before Riot really had these skin lines with these strong thematics that they're always trying to follow. And so Arctic Ops is another one of those that, like, where the best ones are really good, and the bad ones are just, like, really kind of bad. And a lot of skin lines, like, I as a spoiler right now, a lot of skin lines are going to be in the B tier, because Riot generally have this split across a lot of the skin lines that they do, where they have a bunch of old skins that really suck, or are just kind of painfully outdated, and then they have a bunch of skins that they've added more recently that are actually really solid and interesting. So the B tier is probably going to be pretty full by the time we're done. Oh, by the way, I should have added Arcanist, actually, kinda, since they've got a bunch of new skins going into that line now that they didn't have before. Oh well, that's gonna... Arcanist, back when I first made all these assets, when I made all of these things, Arcanist didn't have the Zoe, and the Cockmaw and the, Shaco skins, and it had fewer than 4 skins in the line, so I didn't make assets for it. But I will say, like, with the Zoe and the new skins that they've added, that would sit solidly in, like, an A. That's a pretty solid skin line. Right. Astronaut. Oh, wait, no, there's a super chat. Boss Vicar and Boss Malz also save arcade, be honest. Yeah, well, Malzahar I'm not so fond of, but Battle Boss Vicar is really cool. Right, moving on to Astronaut, where the best one is Bard. Bard is the best one. Astronaut Bard is just wonderful. He's got the little alien meeps. He's floating around on the UFO. He's got his happy little face projected onto the visor of his helmet that can do expressions and stuff. Very cool. He's carrying around a little satellite dish thing, whatever, for his thing in the thing. It's a well-crafted skin that really fits the character. Like, the idea of the meeps as little aliens instead. Very well put together. Absolutely lovely. Then there's Astronaut Teemo. And yeah, Teemo is another one of those champions whose skins are not gonna be... I'm not gonna be very nice to them, because Teemo sucks, and Teemo's skins suck, and I don't like Astronaut. Like, Astronaut Teemo is probably one of his better skins overall that isn't like Omega Squad, but it's like, yeah, whatever. It's the worst one of the Astronaut skins, anyway. And so Astronaut is another one of those that kind of hovers around a B for me. Like, it's not as inconsequential and boring as Albion, but Bard gives it a bump, puts it up in the B. Moving on to Battle Academia. Now, this one, you can, like, Battle Academia is one of those skin lines where you can really tell that Riot has been watching My Hero Academia recently. And it's also, like, it's a thing that makes perfect sense for Riot to do, because, like, anime is popular, anime skins are always popular in League of Legends, but the worst one of the Battle Academia line is Battle Academy Ezreal, for a couple of reasons. First of all, because it's so fucking obvious. Like, oh, Ezreal is a shonen protagonist, yeah, wow, where did you get that idea, Riot? Very creative. And he's a popular champion, you give him the popular skins, yeah, I get it, it's fine, whatever, money, etc. But Battle Academia Ezreal is, first of all, so super obvious, and second of all, just not very interesting as a shonen protagonist. Like, shonen protagonists at their best are either extremely simplistic and really, like, iconic and recognizable. Think about your Luffys and your Son Gokus, have these very simplistic but incredibly iconic character designs, or they have these ridiculously overcomplicated, like, just, like, really dumb-looking character designs that are just really extra and fun. Ezreal here lands somewhere in the middle of the two, and he doesn't commit to being like an over-elaborate, super extra anime protagonist bullshit character like you see in the Yu-Gi-Ohs, and he doesn't really look like one of those, like, simple, instantly iconic character designs either. He's just a little bit too complex for that, but not complex enough to be interesting in it. So he's like... For me, he's the worst one of the Battle Academia skins. He's not terrible. Like, he's fine. It's Ezreal's a shonen protagonist. It's fine. But it's not exciting, and it's not that interesting. On the other hand, I'm a sucker for Principal Yumi. Like, because that's exactly the kind of bonkers-ass bullshit that anime would do. Like, that's, yeah, and Battle Academia anime would have Yumi as the animal principal for whatever reason. Magic Cat sits on a book, dispenses, like, judgments over the school, and she's secretly the most powerful character in the whole show. Sure, like, that's anime bullshit And that fits the line really, really well. That's a good use of the character in order to, like, emphasize a character archetype. It's also where you can really see that this skin line is inspired by My Hero Academia, because they're clearly doing the same animal school principal thing that they were doing in that one. Battle Academia, though, is generally a pretty high-quality skin line, so I put that one in an A, because even though Ezreal is, like, kind of boring and obvious, it's still a competently executed version of him. Right. Headmistress Fiora, please discipline me. Now. Steady there. Steady there. This is a family stream. Right. How y'all doing? We've been going for, what, half an hour so far? Are you having fun? Oh, good lord, there's 2,000 people here. Okay. That's more people than I thought. Hate the taste of Red Bull, but it keeps me awake. Chat goes to horny jail. Yeah. Good lord, chat is going fast. I'm trying to follow what chat is. Are you from Denmark, by the way? Ja, jeg er dansk. Desværre. Selvom du ikke kan høre det på min accent, når jeg snakker engelsk, fordi jeg har meget forsigtigt forsøgt at undgå at have en åbenlys dansk accent. Anyway. Drink coffee instead? No, coffee is terrible. It's bitter. Ugh. Coffee is for people who want to be unhappy. Let's see. Yone is so fucking cool, by the way. Yes, I agree. I'm trying to follow chat, but good lord, it's difficult. At some point, I may have to turn on slow mode just so I can actually see what people are saying. If it loosens you up, a VTuber baseball mock draft stream hit 100,000 years. I don't understand a lot of those words. VTubers are like those virtual reality people who use like motion and facial tracking, right? Good for them, though. Like, nicely done. Who the hell gets that interested in baseball, though? Oh, well. Oh god, super chat. Yo, happy birthday. Your analysis videos are fantastic. Thanks so much for making them. I'm glad you enjoy them, and thank you for that super chat. No Iron Inquisition? I'm sad. I believe Iron Inquisition is here somewhere? Or was that one of the ones I had to cut out? Let's see. No, Iron Inquisition is part of Omen of the Dark, which is here. And that one, yes, that's gonna rank pretty highly. Spoiler alert. That's definitely gonna be pretty high. But that's inside the Omen of the Dark universe, which also includes Spectral Fiddlesticks and Undertaker Yorick and Grey Warwick. So we'll get to that one once we get there. Right. Riot missed opening for Bully Darius to make you eat dirt. Yeah. Tips on avoiding speaking with avoiding having a Danish accent when speaking English. I want to work on it. Watch a lot of American television and try to mimic their accents. Or English, like watch a lot of the BBC, in which case you might get the BBC presenter voice, where they speak high at first and then they go down low. Right then. Oh god, more super chats. Commando and Frosted better get S tier. I will see. Commando isn't gonna... I'm gonna spoil that one for you. I'm probably the only one who likes Crimson Elite, but I have to ask how much to include them. I don't want this to be like a pay for content stream, so no. There's no amount of tip you can give me to make me include them right now. Because I don't want people to feel pressure to give me money. I don't like that. That makes me feel gross. Right, let's move on to Battlecast before I get too caught up in chat. So, Battlecast is another one of those... Battlecast is a skin line that has had some older skins grafted onto it that weren't originally really supposed to be part of it. For example, Resistance Caitlyn is officially part of the Battlecast skin universe, even though, like, it's such an old skin, it was created long before Battlecast was a thing, and it was never meant to be part of the Battlecast universe. Consequently, it's the worst of the Battlecast skins, both because it's clearly not meant to be part of it, and secondly because, well, I mean, Caitlyn's character model is so ugly. Like, it just is. She looks kind of badass and cool in the splash art. Like, she's like, oh yeah, Resistance Commander, jungle fighter thing. But then you look at her character model and she looks like a stripper, and she always does because Caitlyn's character model is designed to look like a stripper all the time. It's she needs a rework so badly. So no, is Battlecast Caitlyn, or rather Resistance Caitlyn, who's officially part of the Battlecast universe, is definitely the worst one in that particular line. On the other hand, Creator Victor is fucking badass. Like, yes, if you were to have a Grand Skeletor bad guy villain of the Battlecast universe, yes, this is what that's supposed to look like. The Battlecast skins themselves, like your Battlecast Urgots and Chogats, they're kind of samey looking. They're supposed to be. That's the whole point of the skin line, is that the Creator Victor is creating these same looking robot versions of the champions, like to take over and like force all the world into his glorious revolution. So they're all kind of samey and a little bit uninteresting on their own, but Creator Victor is a badass character design. Like, that is the evil Skeletor villain from this 80s cartoon. And I'm 100% on board with that. So Battlecast, like, if it wasn't for Resistance Caitlyn, it would probably be an S-tier skin line for me because it's so well created and complete. But until Caitlyn starts looking, like, less shitty, and until, like, they start updating some of the older skins, it stays in an A-tier. Yeah, Gloria's Evolution. Yes, that's true. Gloria's Evolution, not Revolution. Revolution, boring, never worked. Russia failed. No. Evolution. Feel like Creator Victor should have been legendary. Yeah, I don't know if he's an older skin as well, so I don't really know where they go with that one. So, moving on to Black Frost, which is one of those skin lines that I was kind of surprised has enough skins in it to be a real skin line, but apparently it does. And the best one of them remains Anivia. Like, Anivia's character model is in desperate need of some updates, because, like, the way she flaps her wings, the way she looks on the Rift, it's not a great character model. The rigging is really old, and you can tell that from all of her animations. But Black Frost Anivia, with the concept of the Black Frost skin line being, hey, what if the dark ice of Lysandra won? What if Lysandra took over the Freljord? What would happen to characters like Anivia? Makes sense to me that this, like, dark steel and, like, dark ice sort of menacing looking thing with a unicorn horn on its head, actually pretty damn good. Like, that works really well for me, and I really hope they do a good job with her when Anivia finally gets herself a visual update that she so desperately needs. On the other hand, I don't know what the fuck the point of Black Frost Renekton is. Like, I don't get it. He's like, yeah, he's like an ice crocodile, huh? Because the whole point of the skin line is, what if Lysandra took over the Freljord and all the mythical creatures there got, like, captured and turned into her black ice servants or whatever. But why Renekton? Like, Rek'Sai I can kind of get. Alistar I can kind of get. Alistar's a Minotaur, he lives in the mountains. Yes, sure, that sort of kind of makes sense. Rek'Sai is this borrowing deep horror from below a mountain. Okay, I kind of get that. But then Renekton is a crocodile. He's Sobek. Like, he's always... So I don't... He just doesn't fit the skin line for me. Like, the whole ice theme just doesn't map onto him very well at all. And there's a weird mistake in his splash art that I can never get over, which is, take a look at how he's holding his weapon there. That it's such a strange angle, and it just looks like the thing, whatever the hell his weapon is called, doesn't connect up properly on each side of the hands. It's a small thing, but it's one of those stupid things I fixate on and then don't care about. So for me, Black Frost is like, and Black Frost and Anivia is cool, but the rest of them are kind of disposable and uninteresting to me. So this has never really been able to care about them that much. Do you have Elemental Lux alone on the list? I mean, I guess technically she should be, but no, I don't. I once thought that Star Guardian Poppy was supposed to be yellow, but was changed due to a fan outrage. I don't know if I dreamt it or not. I don't know about that. I've never heard about that. Oh, someone asked 3 favorite skins? No, I can't do that. I don't know how to rank things in favorites like that. So, Blood Moon. It's an S-tier skin line. Let's start there. Blood Moon is an S-tier skin line as a whole, because, like, it has a majority, like, some stuff like Blood Moon Jin and, like, Blood Moon Akali, and especially this boy right here, Blood Moon Cillian. The Blood Moon skin line managed the fucking impossible. It made Cillian look cool. Even with his old-ass, outdated, crappy character model and shitty animations, they managed to make Cillian look cool. And as the manifestation of the high priest of a moon cult that kills people in the night, this is badass, this is intimidating, this looks really cool. It's a beautiful execution of what the skin line can do. And I want to give some honorable mentions to, like, Blood Moon is one of those skin lines that has been fucking filled. Like, it's just a huge ass skin line. Where you got like Aatrox, Akali, Diana, Elise, Evelyn, Jhin, Kalista, Katarina, Kennen, Master Yi, Pyke, Shen, Sivir, Talon, Thresh, Tryndamere, Twisted Fate, Yasuo, Cillian, and a prestige version of Aatrox as well in the whole thing, which is way too much, frankly, and some of them do get a little, like Blood Moon Katarina, not that interesting to me. Like, it's fine, but it's not anything. And the same thing with stuff like, where the hell is he? Blood Moon Kennen. Blood Moon Kennen is cool, but he's also like, I don't know what to do with Blood Moon Kennen or Blood Moon Master Yi. Like, they're fine. They're good skins. They're just not like, for example, Jhin, who's like a shocker, who's like shockingly good as a character. They're not like Blood Moon Zillion, who's fantastic version of that particular character. But all of them are pretty damn good. So I will say there's no bad skin in the Blood Moon skin line, at least not in my opinion. But there is one that I think is a bit weaker than the others, and that would be Blood Moon Lys. Specifically because this is something that the female skins of Blood Moon kind of tend to share, is that they don't take very good advantage of the whole mask thing that's supposed to be a huge part of the appeal of Blood Moon. Of all the female Blood Moon skins, I believe it's only actually Kalista who wears her mask properly as a member of the Blood Moon cult. I think, like, pretty much all the other ladies have these half masks, or they wear these little tiny masks on the top of their head, and that's, for me, that's kind of disappointing, because the cool badass mask is like a part of the appeal. That's part of why Blood Moon is such a cool fucking skin line. But then a lot of them are like focused on, no, we have to have the pretty anime lady face on the thing. We can't cover up the lady face. Which is like, yeah. And Elise is probably the most prominent example of that. Plus, her costume as a Blood Moon character just isn't that interesting. Like, I don't know why they went with the gold spider legs when Blood Moon has this whole, like, blood demon thing going on that would have been so obvious to take, like, have this, like, legs be made out of, like, dried blood or something, like, really play up the horror of the character rather than this gold sexiness, I guess. It's not a terrible skin, it's just, you could have done more with a Blood Moon version of Elise. Like, that seems like you should have been able to do more with that. Okay. Moving on to Bloodstone. Now, Bloodstone has some stinkers in it, or more specifically, it has a stinker, and we'll get to that. But Bloodstone includes Bloodstone Taric, Bloodstone Lissandra, Blood Fury, Renekton, Blood Lord Vladimir, and Blood Knight Hecarim. And Blood Knight Hecarim has always been weird to me, because, like, when you look at his skin, when you look at Blood Knight Hecarim, let me see if I can find him here. He looks so much like he should be part of Blood Moon, doesn't he? Like, to me, that just looks like that would be a Blood Moon version of Hecarim. So why is he in the Bloodstone skin line? I don't understand that. But the best of the Bloodstone skins is probably going to be Bloodstone Taric. Because after his rework, they really went through and gave this, like, he looks like a corrupted paladin now. Like some paladin who got a bloodstone inserted into his chest, and now he's evil and he does blood things with blood, whatever. It works. Like, it suits the premise of the skin line, which is this fantasy universe where bloodstones are used to grant people dark powers because of the something, whatever. And Bloodstone Hecarim is kind of the worst one. Like, I was tempted to make the worst one here Blood Lord Vladimir, because again, Vladimir skins are generally terrible, and Vladimir kind of sucks as a character model. But it's because Hecarim looks so much like he should be in Blood Moon. Like, he doesn't look like he doesn't look like he's from the same sort of European, like, medieval fantasy dark aesthetic that all the other skins are from. He looks like he's from something that's supposed to be more Eastern inspired, like with a lot of the shape language that he's got going on with the horns, with the mask, with the cleft of his spear. I don't know why they didn't just turn that into a Blood Moon skin. So that's kind of the weakest one in that particular line. And Bloodstone is another one of those that lands down in a C, because it's just not that interesting. Like, it doesn't have a lot of interesting ideas. It doesn't really do anything. Oh, it's dark, evil fantasy. Nothing surprising about it. Right, no D tier. No D tier. Stuff is either fucking amazing, it's great, it's good, it's okay, or else it's not good enough. Like, C tier is like, they're fine. They're okay. It's whatever. It's fine. It's fine. But F tier is for stuff that's just not good enough to be in League of Legends, in my opinion. Like, anything below fine shouldn't be in League of Legends, because League of Legends made $1.5 billion in 2019. You can't get away with less than fine. Right. What would you unofficially rank the technically standalone lore progressing skins like Queen Ashe and others? Queen Ashe doesn't progress the lore. Not anymore. I believe Queen Ashe and King Tryndamere are both considered non-canon now. Because they're married still. Like, they're still partners married in the lore, but the whole thing of Queen of the Freljord kind of thing, King Tryndamere, that was retconned out of the lore, I believe. But there are skins like Freljord Silas, which I think is excellent. It's not a very interesting Silas skin. He just put a shirt on, which is like, why would you put a shirt on Silas? That ruins the point. But it's like fine. It's a C tier. Like, I like that it progresses the lore, but as a skin on its own, it's not, you know, it doesn't really do anything for me. Moving on to Burning Tides. And right up front, Burning Tides goes in the E tier. Now, Burning Tides is an interesting skin line because it includes, let me see if I can find the list here. It includes Fiddle Me Timbers, as well as characters that you would expect, like Bilge Water Katarina. But it also includes, Captain Fortune. But it also includes Bilge Water Katarina and Bilge Rat Rumble, which are which again is like Resistance Caitlyn. They're old pirate-themed skins that just get kind of grandfathered into Burning Tides without having anything to do, really, with what Burning Tides was supposed to be about. And that's kind of a problem. Like, Kingpin Twitch, for some reason, is part of Burning Tides. And that's kind of a problem that the skin line has, is that the skins that were designed to be part of Burning Tides, like Captain Gangplank, Captain Fortune, Corsair Quinn, Cutthroat Graves, and Twisted Fate, they're pretty good. But then it's got these old-ass skins kind of grafted onto it that just don't fit with it. Anyway, the best one of these, in my opinion, is Captain Fortune, because it's a skin that progresses her lore. First of all, she's now the Pirate Lord of Bilgewater. And it also does a really good job of updating her character design, because, like, Miss Fortune in her base design is, like, the horny pirate wench thing. Like, that's kind of all that she's really got going for her. She's this sexy, horny, red-headed pirate wench. And that's fine. I have always liked Miss Fortune as a character, but this one recontextualizes her fully into, like, the badass pirate lord. Still sexy, but she's now primarily the badass pirate lord of Bilgewater. And it's such a cool fucking looking skin, and I'm really glad that this is the version of Miss Fortune that now is part of, like, the Tales of Runeterra shorts and things like that. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the worst skin of the Burning Tides line, despite the older shitty skins that are in there, is Captain Fortune. Because of her goddamn character model. This version of Captain Miss Fortune right here, fantastic, badass, looks amazing. There's a little bit of cleavage to show the sexiness is still in there, but is not overemphasized. Mostly you just get this, like, badass swashbuckling thing. And then her character model. And it's another one of those things where she just needs a goddamn visual update. Like, she needs to be updated so that she actually fits what she's supposed to be in the lore, because right now her character model has these bright, cheerful colors and cleavage 12 miles out to here, a cup size that's like 4 times bigger than what she's got on the actual skin splash. And she doesn't look like a badass, she looks like a pirate cosplayer. The model just can't keep up with what the splash art is promising, and that's so fucking disappointing when this is the best Miss Fortune skin, like, in by far of the ones that aren't, like, Gun Goddess and stuff like that. To then have it show up in-game like this, to me, is just like, no, she looks like a stripper now. Like, she looks like she's doing a sexy pirate Halloween costume. She needs to look like the badass pirate lord of Bilge. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's my hot take, is that Captain Fortune is both the best and the worst one in the Burning Tides line, but it's still a solid A. Right, I need to readjust my desk for a second, so just give me a moment. Right then. Let's see. I always thought that the splash art with Sea Hunter Aatrox was part of the Monster Hunter line, along with the prehistoric skins. Yeah, he kind of looks that way, doesn't he? But, yeah. It's like... So, moving on to Commando. Commando is a very old skin line. It's one of those really old skin lines that were popular with the really old champions back in the day. And it's got this modern military aesthetic thing going on. Which is like, yeah, it's like, what if Ghost Recon Wildlands, but League of Legends champions? And on Commando Galio, that's probably the best execution of that, in that he's got these sort of stealth fighter-looking military-esque wings thing going on, and this motherfucker mustache, and the headphones, and the backwards ball cap, and the pashmina scarf thing. Yeah, it's like, okay. But then you have the worst ones of the line, which is stuff like Commando Lux, which is a skin that kind of infuriates me a little bit because it's so stupid. Like, none of the Commando skins are very good in my opinion, not even Commando Galio, but Commando Lux is just... She's wearing high-laced boots with high heels. And she's supposed to be like an elite soldier? What the hell? Like, I get that the character model has high heels and you can't do anything about that, but, like, the stripper heels here, like, those stiletto things, that's dumb on the face of it, because it completely goes counter to the idea of modern military League of Legends champions. But then there's her weapon. Like, that's the one that really kind of... What the fuck is this? Like, she has a magic wand, usually, but then what's her weapon supposed to be? Like, you have these two boxes connected with, like, a steel beam... And then you have this flamethrower-looking ass arrangement with like an igniter and a hose to blast out propellant, I suppose. But it's on both sides of the weapon. And it doesn't have a fuel tank. There isn't a fuel... Where's the fuel? Like, how is it... And again, it's just because it's old. It's an old skin. They couldn't do that much to the character models back then. It's an old character skin. Therefore, it looks a little crappy. But Commando Lux is just like... It's hot garbage. Like, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And for me, Commando is the first of the F tier. Because, like, you have Guerrilla Tristana, who's pretty good. I like Guerrilla Tristana. That one's pretty decent. But the rest of them are, like, at best, they're uninspired. Like, at best, they're... Oh, what if modern military aesthetic... Which is already boring. Like, modern military aesthetics are boring. They're boring. They're supposed to be. Like, they're not supposed to look cool or badass. They're boring. And then you kind of just do half-assed versions of it with, like, Commando gangplaying and shit. And that... No. No. It's the first one of the skin lines that I feel like you could just delete that from League of Legends and it would be none the worse for it. Like... Ugh. Sucks. That's just my opinion, by the way. Let's be clear about that. This is my opinion. It's not... I'm not passing objective judgment from a high chair in the Supreme Court or anything. It just... I think this stuff sucks. But Teemo, no. Omega Squad Teemo is not a Commando skin. Moving on to Cops and Robbers. So this one for me is kind of somewhere between the B and C tiers, because most of the skins in the line is stuff like Officers, Trundle, and Volibear, which are, like, fine. Like, they wear cop outfits and walk away from explosions. Cool. And then you have Twitch and Evelyn, Safecracker Evelyn, and something Bandit, whatever he's called, the Twitch, which are, like, decent. They're okay. And then you have, of course, the cop skins, specifically Officer Caitlyn and Officer Evelyn. And these two skins... I really like like, all cops are bastard, obviously. All cops are bastards, but these are fantasy, like, imaginary cops, so we can go a little bit easier on them. I really like Officer Vi. And the weird thing is I like Officer Vi for some of the same reasons that I hate Officer Caitlyn. Both Officer Vi and Officer Caitlyn are sexy cops. Like, they're stripper versions of cops. They're not, like, they're clearly supposed to be sexy versions. With Caitlyn, though... She looks like a bad stripper costume. Like, she looks like a really shitty stripper cop. She looks like a really shitty sexy cop that wouldn't be fun or interesting or doesn't even look that hot with these, like, with the long boots. And again, it's Caitlyn's character model being old. Caitlyn's character model is old, it sucks, it needs an update, and most of her skins as a consequence of that, are pretty damn bad. Plus, she's got a sniper rifle, which, like, Jesus Christ. And then there's Officer Vi, on the other hand, who looks like a fun stripper cop. Like, she looks like a... Like, that's... If that stripper cop showed up at your bachelor party, you'd be like, yeah, that's... Hell yeah. Because it has a much better aesthetic cohesion. She wears proper pants. She's got boots on that are a little bit sexy, but still look like sort of severe jackbooted thugs like all fucking cops are. She's got this bustier thing going on that does a, like, lovely way to slow off the cleavage. Like, that shit is hot and looks sexy, and it looks fun in a way that stripper Caitlyn here over here just doesn't. And it's not, it doesn't hurt that Vi's model is just a higher quality. It's a newer character model. It's a much higher quality. It's much better put together. Whereas with, like, Officer Caitlyn, because she's so old and crappy, all of her skins are old and crappy. So, yeah, like, Officer Vi is probably the best one of the cop skins just because it's supposed to be a sexy stripper cop skin, and it does a really good job of being a sexy stripper cop skin. That still looks like it could kick your ass 7 ways from Sunday, which is, of course, part of the sexual appeal of the whole cop fantasy thing when it comes to that kind of thing. If you're doing a stripper skin, do it right, and that's what I think they do with Officer Vi. So cops and robbers for me is like... I mean, all cops are bastards, and mostly it's fine, so let's put it in the C tier. It's fine, it's okay, it's not terrible, it's okay. My opinion on Yone's character design. Oh, you'll find out once I do the video about him. Let's see. Would you be willing to rank the ultimate skins as their own tier list? No, because this stream is already going to be very long. Battlecast and Commando have Battletech Terminator feels. The dirty armor versus the modern, clean-looking armor is the big factor to me. Yeah, a little bit, but they're also kind of just old and bad all around. Cops would be S tier if naked. No, cops would be S tier if they were abolished. Moving on to Crime City. So Crime City is another one of those skin lines that has a bunch of old skins grafted onto it. So we have Crime City, Braum, Graves, Jinx, Misfortune, and Twitch, which are the ones that you would expect. Like, Crime City Graves is Mafia Graves. That's what he used to be called. Crime City Braum used to be called Mafia Braum. And Crime City Jinx is like Flapper Jinx. It's the 1920s Flapper costume for her. But then you also have Gragas Esquire. Which is like Gragas in his, where the joke is that Gragas, except he looks well put together and wears a suit and stuff and looks sophisticated. And you have Knockout Lee Sin, who's supposed to be like a 1920s boxer, I suppose, in this Mafia universe. So you have these newer skins that have a coherent theme to them, like Crime City Twitch, Crime City Misfortune. And you have these older skins that are just kind of awkwardly shoved into the skin line just to kind of be stuffed in there so they have a place to belong, that are kind of crappy and boring. And consequently, like, this is absolutely the worst of the Crime City skins, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, he doesn't really fit in there. Like, the whole joke of Gragas Esquire is that he's the opposite of base Gragas. Like, base Gragas is this naked drunk who stumbles around the Freljord, gets into fights with everybody, and burps all the time, and he's bald and ha-ha-ha, drunk fat slob, which is a tiresome cliche, but that's the joke of him. And the joke of Gragas Esquire is that he's well put together, he's sophisticated, he's not the drunken slob that his base form is. This is as Mr. Gragas if he got his life together and stopped being an alcoholic, that kind of thing. But look at his character model, he looks terrible. Like, that suit is so crinkly, like it's never been ironed or dry cleaned even once in his life. He's got an absolutely awful taste in ties. What the hell is this yellow and purple arrangement? Jesus Christ. And his shirt is untucked with this, like, half-assly, poorly put together waistcoat hanging down over his belly, like just kind of flapping in the air. Terrible. He looks terrible. He doesn't look well put together. Like, the whole point of the skin is that Gragas is supposed to look refined and sophisticated, and he doesn't. He looks like some idiot who got shoved into a suit that's 3 sizes too large for him and was never tailored. He doesn't look tailored. That's the whole point of the skin. It's supposed to look tailored, so that's terrible, and that sucks. Whereas the best one is Crime City Jinx, because, yeah, fuck yeah, she's got a suitcase with a minigun in it, and she shoots champagne bottles at people. And she's got, like, a rocket launcher with a bear trap bolted to the front of it. That's cool as hell. She looked cool. She's great. Crime City Jinx is fantastic. So Crime City is another one of those that lands, like, in a, I guess, B tier, because most of them are fine. Like, most of them are pretty good. But then there's stuff like Gragas Esquire, which is just awful. Like, which is just, like, a bad skin all around. Right then. Oh, go. Good lord, 2,600 people. Hello, 2,600 people. That's a lot of you. How y'all doing? Are we having a good time? Let me get another sip of energy drink. No, water. Water. I need water. Happy birthday. Thank you. Okay. Why not some green tea or stuff? Yeah, I don't hate energy drinks. I just don't like the taste of Red Bull. It was just all they had at the store. Let's see. I think some of these are out of order. A little bit. Oh well, doesn't matter. We don't need to go alphabetically. So, Culinary Masters. This is another one of the skin lines that has sort of been... That's been sort of awkwardly grafted together from some different things, because Culinary Masters includes stuff like pizza delivery, Sivir. It includes stuff like Birdio, which is the fast food version of Galio. But it also includes like stuff like Sinful Succulence Morgana, and like the Master Chef Tom Kench, which are skin lines that like they sort of have a common theme, in that yes, pizza delivery and fast food, it's food themed kind of vaguely, but it's also a little bit awkwardly put together sometimes. Like I feel like fast food and Culinary Masters should probably be different things, but that may just be me. Anyway, surprising no one, the best of the culinary skins, to me at least, is probably Pizza Delivery Sivir. And part of that is because I've been a League of Legends, like I've been following League of Legends for a long time, and Pizza Delivery Sivir was one of those skins that was like rumored for ages, and like it was, oh yeah, Pizza Delivery Sivir any day now, right? Are gonna do, like, definitely it's threads on Reddit being like, when are we gonna get Pizza Delivery Sivir? It was one of those skins that was just floating around forever, because it's such an obvious idea to have Sivir throwing pizzas at people. It's a great application of her basic character design, and it's fun, and then we finally got it, and it was pretty damn good. Like, yeah, this looks like a sort of cool, fun, young, spunky pizza delivery girl with a little moped. I love the moped, by the way, in the recall animation, that she has the little moped that she drives around on. That's such a great detail for the character skin. And it's just like, it's just a really good... If you wanted the pizza delivery version of Sivir, this is about as perfect of an execution of it as you're gonna get. Plus, she's hot. Like, that doesn't hurt. And when it comes to base character designs for champions in League of Legends, you often hear me being kind of down on characters being pointlessly sexy. Like, they're just, oh, there's cleavage for no reason. It's like, that's kind of boring and dumb in the base character designs. I don't like that at all. But, oh, Jesus Christ. I've been talking too much. I did the Yone animated, that 10-minute animated short thing. I recorded that yesterday, so my voice is kind of taking a beating. I may have to take a break for some tea at some point. Like, when you're dealing with skins, I think it's fine for them to be hot. Like, I think we need more, like, sexy man skins as well. Like, we need more skins that are just not just sexy ladies all the time. Because, like, fucking stripper Caitlyn, right? That's kind of been the basic model of a lot of female character skins in League of Legends for a long time. It's just, oh yeah, make them sexy because of that, which is boring. But I don't mind it, because the skins are supposed to be these wish fulfillment alternate fantasies. Like, what if this character, but they are like some hot, sexy archetype thing? And I think that's completely fine, so long as that's not the only thing that all the skins are doing, which it's not. Like, there's lots of variety. There's diversity in the skins that League of Legends characters get. Sivir has this, like, spunky, sexy, young, hot pizza delivery girl skin, but she's also got stuff like Warden. Is it Warden or is it the other one? But she has one where she's like completely covered in badass metal spiky armor as well. So there's a diversity, there's a balance there. So I don't mind being like, yeah, it's also sexy, and that's a big bonus for it. The worst one of the Culinary Masters, though, for me at least, is Leona. And it's not really about the quality of the skin, because like it's a really nice quality skin. I love the texture work. It looks cool. It's just the conception and execution of her has these weird... Because, like, I can... Baker Pantheon, that's his joke, right? I always wanted to be a baker. So that makes perfect sense. Yes, it's a joke skin about Pantheon wanting to be a baker. That's cool. That's funny. Olaf, yes, he's got this, like, grill master thing with his 2 T-bone steaks that he uses for weapons things. Sure, that makes a certain degree of sense. And there's, like, sashimi chef Akali. Yeah, she's like a ninja. She's Japanese-inspired. She wields knives. Sure. Like, I can see where that comes from. But then it's, like... Leona, but a grill master, and she's got like a grill for a shield and a big grill fork instead of her sword. So now she swings that around like a sword, which doesn't make any sense. But also, she's got this long, like this 12-mile long grill fork, specifically for the purposes of not getting too near to the fire, and she's wearing an oven mitt. But then what's the point of the poker? Like, the whole point of the grill fork is that your hands don't get close to the hot stuff. But you're holding it with the oven mitt? Why? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like, it's one of those skins, like, the quality is good, it looks cool, but the concept of it just kind of baffles me sometimes, because Leona isn't really associated with anything that has to do with meat cooking. Like, she's a sun character. She's like, okay, but then shouldn't you have a Diana that is a vegetarian? I don't know. Like, there's something for me that's just missing there. Plus, her hat looks dumb. Like, the little tiny hat is cute, but it looks dumb. So it's not terrible. It's not an awful skin. It's just there's parts of the conception that just don't. I can't figure out how to read. Like, why this? Like, why give her oven mitts and a long fork? And what's the... having a grill as a sheet... Anyway, it's fine. It's not bad. It's Culinary Masters is an easy A for me. It's just one of those skins that kind of baffles me in its conception. There was that cute cosplay of Pizza Seaver. There's a lot of cute cosplays of Pizza Seaver, but I know the one you're talking about, Sneaky Pizza Sneaky from Den Warden. I know everyone saw Pizza... He looks fantastic in that cosplay, doesn't he? That's very well done. Moving on to Coven. Now, Coven is another one of those unusual things, because it's a composite universe of a lot of different skins, because Coven is part of the Eclipse skin universe. And Eclipse includes Solar and Lunar Eclipse Leona, but it also includes Elderwood, but it also includes Death Blossom. So you have Death Blossom, Elise, and Cossacks are part of the same universe as Coven, which is part of the same universe as Elderwood. And Elderwood is another one of those skin lines that have had old skins kind of grafted onto it that weren't really designed to fit in the aesthetic. So with Coven, you have this kind of like old school rural horror thing, like the horrors that lurk in a forest, like witches and dark powers, sort of dark fantasy aesthetic thing going on with Coven, Camille LeBlanc, and Sandra Morgana Syra, and the Prestige Edition there. And then with Elderwood, you have, okay, these are the ancient beings of the woods themselves. So, okay, that makes kind of sense. And then you have Eclipse, which are like, they're like witch hunters or people who protect people. But then you have Death Blossom, which is, how the fuck does Death Blossom fit in? And according to the lore, there are like winter forest things of the Elderwood that kind of, it's one of those skin lines that's kind of suffering from being grafted onto a bunch of other stuff. So Coven and Elderwood technically go together here, but I split them up into two because they're so different. Like, they're not like the Cosmic skin line, which we'll be looking at relatively soon, where you have Dark Cosmic and Dark Star alongside the Cosmic skins that all kind of have a common central theme. They feel like things that weren't really meant to go together as such, but that were sort of grafted together when Riot's writers, skin writers, felt like, oh, here's an opportunity to consolidate a bunch of stuff into one. So, the best Coven skin Actually, where the hell did I put that? Ah, right. The best Coven skin is probably gonna be Eclipse Leona, because Eclipse Leona is part of the Coven skin line underneath her own sub-line that's it's a okay, let me show you the graph over this shit. It's a complicated relationship, because this is the whole of the Eclipse line, right? Coven, Death Blossom, Eclipse, Elderwood. And Eclipse is most closely related directly to Coven, because Leona is this, like, Sun, Moon Defender character who fights the Coven very directly. But then you have Elderwood, where you have characters like, for example, Elderwood Vigar, who was not really, like, and Dryad Soraka, who are not really related to Coven. Like, they don't have a relationship. They're a completely different aesthetic thing. So, it's a whole thing. It's a mess. But I consider Eclipse and Lunar and Solar Eclipse Leona, I consider those part of the Coven skin line. So the best Coven skin, for me, is Eclipse Leona. I hope I explained that well. I didn't, but I hope I did. And the worst one out of the line is probably going to be Coven Camille. Not because she's terrible, like, she's not bad, but in terms of you could do more for, like, a witch with blade legs than to just have her, like, she's just wearing, like, a bustier and a coat. Where I feel like maybe, like, if she, like, bled from her, like, she had blood running out of her eyes a little bit, or, like, magic claws, or she just kind of looks like not a lot of anything. And the only real magic thing about her is that she's got the magic tethers that she uses for her, like, mobility spell. It's like, it's fine. It just feels like they could have done a lot more to make her look witchy, rather than looking like some kind of satyr assassin or something. She doesn't look like a witch. She doesn't look like the member of some ancient coven of, like, dangerous forest witches as such. But it's fine. And the Coven skin line in general is one of those that, like, it sits solidly in between the A and B tiers for me. Probably more B tier, really, because I don't really vibe with Coven LeBlanc as much as I feel like I should. Yeah, B tier, for Coven specifically. Stripper Gragas Wen. I'd be up for that. Like, I think having some positive representation of a fat character in League of Legends, where, like, hey, let's take a fat character and actually present it as though maybe this thing can be considered sexy or attractive, which it can in real life. That would be nice, instead of just having fat characters be a fucking joke in League of Legends all the time, but that's a discussion for another day. Moving on to Elderwood. So Elderwood, like I said, we have Emerald Taric and Dryad Soraka are sort of awkwardly, like, Emerald Taric, you may remember, is a skin that was originally just a chroma for Taric. Like, he was just a green version of his base skin. That got reconceptualized with his rework into this rather handsome-looking elf Taric thing, where I never understood why that one didn't become part of Albion. Like, why it wasn't part, like, the same thing as Nottingham Ezreal. Like, because it seems so much like it should be part of, like, old British, like, Sherwood Forest, elves in the woods, Nottingham aesthetic. But that one got grafted onto Elderwood specifically. And it's a nice-looking skin, but I find it hard to feel like it has anything to do aesthetically with something like Elderwood Bard. Like, they don't feel like they belong, especially in the same universe, do they? So Elderwood is one of those unusual, but surprising no one, the best Elderwood skin for me is Bard. Elderwood Bard is lovely. It's such a good little skin for the character, like, recontextualizing his beard as a big mass of, like, old autumn leaves, having this, like, gnarled, hoary old wood pattern with this, like, this spiral hole in which his eye sits. He has this, like, wooden trumpet thing with which he calls forth the little woodland spirits. That's a really, yes, that looks like some ancient creature from the deep dark woods that is some kind of spirit guardian or whatever. That looks really good. That fits in. On the other hand, there's Dryad Soraka. And Dryad Soraka, like Taric, like Emerald Taric, it's a palette swap for Soraka. It's one of the really, really old skins that was just like, oh, let's put some different colors on it and call it a day, without actually having much of a concept or anything interesting behind it. And Taric looks a lot nicer since he got reworked, but Soraka didn't really get to look that much nicer in her last rework, and this is still just a crappy chroma skin. That really shouldn't be a skin on its own. It should just be a chroma for her base. So yeah, Elderwood is C, probably. Because there's some cool stuff in there, like Elderwood Bard. I like Elderwood Hecarim, but then there's Elderwood Ari, who's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's Ari with a slightly different costume, I guess. She doesn't look like a forest spirit, she just looks like herself. Anyway. Let's see, Pink Taric is the only way to play Taric. I agree, like, Pink Taric is a good skin. Moving on to Day Job. Now, Day Job is another one of those skin lines that was sort of awkwardly fit together after the fact. Let me see if I can find the full list. Day Job includes Angler Jax, Black Belt Udyr, Boom Boom Blitzcrank, Corporate Mundo, Firefighter Tristana, Fisherman Fizz, Forecast Janna, Groovy Zillion, Hazmat Heimerdinger, Little Slugger Trundle, Lumberjack Scion, Matador Alistar, Prestigious LeBlanc, Primetime Draven, and Sailor Gangplank. And it's one of those confused skin lines. It's made up of skins that used to be just joke skins back in the day. Mostly they're really old skins, like Groovy Zillion, for example, which we'll get to him. Fisherman Fizz, which were just like, oh yeah, what if they had a funny costume on? Sorry. And then they got consolidated into like a really vague, broad skin line called Day Job, which is like, what if the champions were doing jobs in the real world? Which has always been kind of a, It's like, It does have some standouts. Like, my favorite one is Forecast Janna. Just because having Janna be a weather reporter and having her have, like, that whole, like, daytime television weather reporter who, like, clearly aspires for more and so runs out into the middle of a hurricane in the hopes of going viral, that kind of energy to her, that's a really cool version. Like, that's a cool execution of that particular idea. Corporate Mundo's good too, and maybe he'll be my favorite after Mundo gets his rework. Maybe that'll get him up there. But Corporate Mundo is also just kind of a one-note joke, which is like, what if Mundo, but businessman? Mundo trades stocks. Mundo, like Mundo trades stocks where he pleases, like that kind of thing, right? Mundo oversee transaction like boss. Like that's kind of the whole thing about it. He's like a one-note joke. It's a funny joke. It's a good joke. But, like, Forecast Janna looks like there's a little bit more to her than that. Like, this got, like, a fun, intrepid reporter aesthetic thing going on. Mundo filed Texas! And then we have Groovy Zillion, who sucks. He's terrible. Like I said, Blood Moon Zillion is such an accomplishment because it makes Zillion look cool. Like, it actually makes Zillion look decent. And then there's all of Zillion's other skins, which are just garbage. Like, they're terrible. They're crap. Like, Zillion needs an update. He needs it so badly because he's such an ugly, crappy old character model. And as a consequence, much like Caitlyn, is just like, I don't know what the fuck is this even supposed to be remotely? I don't know. It's terrible. It's bad. But Day Job is another one of those C tier because like there's some good skins in there, but most of them are just like meh. They're just like, oh yeah, Fisherman Fizz and Angler Jax. What if Jax had a fishing pole? Yay. Which I don't know what to do with that at all. Forecast Jaina's model, though, looks like Betsy DeVos. I don't really know what Betsy DeVos looks like. I just know she's an asshole. For me, that doesn't count against her. Moving on to Deathsworn. I couldn't get a look at Deathsworn Victor's model to put into the image, unfortunately, because the model viewer just didn't work. With that particular skin for the character. But Deathsworn Victor is cool as hell. I really like Deathsworn Victor. Because he's got this whole, like, this death's head, vengeful spirit from the grave, arcane sigils. Like, he looks like a spirit of death come to haunt the living and claim their souls for his own with this, like, magical arm thing that shoots lasers out. It's a really badass version of Victor. It's a really cool skin. And it looks like it genuinely does look like it's a Deathsworn hell spirit come to kill you. On the other side of the coin, you have something like Deathsworn Katarina, which is just Katarina with blue hair. Like, it's another one of those palette swap skins that are just not interesting. They updated her splash art to make her a little better looking, but it's just, hey, what if Katarina but blue hair instead of red hair? What if purple instead of black? As like, so all of this cool eldritch magic, like sigils on the ground, death spirit, like, I've come to collect your soul for my man. All of that stuff, nah, it's just an anime girl with blue hair. This is boring. Like, this is just really, really boring. Skulls on her kneecaps, how inventive. So Death Swan is another one of those sea skins, like, where, like, the worst of them being Death Swan Katarina really sucks, but the best of them is really fucking good, but it's also, like, if they were all like Death Swan Victor, they'd be an easy A tier, but for the moment, they're just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I agree, she has a good booty, like, nice ass on lots of female League of Legends champions, but, like, that's the thing. Lots of female League of Legends champions have immaculately sculpted buttocks. That's not really a selling point. That's not... they all do, which is one of the boring things that League of Legends tends to do, but whatever. Moving on to Debonair. And my favorite one of those is definitely Debonair Galio. Specifically because it's such a lovely recontextualization of the character. Like, Galio is this, like, living statue made of rock in his base skin. So how do we turn him debonair? Well, how do we turn him into, like, a Bond villain, kind of, like, cool guy hanging out in a casino, kind of sexy daddy kind of character archetype, where Riot Hylia, who's one of the people who worked on it, had some really cool insights into, like, okay, let's give him, like, let's turn his, give him his face like this big daddy beard thing going on. Let's give him immaculately coiffed hair, and let's make him sharp metal. Instead of being this big, bulky rock character, let's make him sharp, shiny, glossy metal, which does give him that sleek, slightly sensual vibe that really works very, very well for that particular version of the character. And that's like a really good execution of making the character debonair, making him this Bond villain thing. Then we have Debonair Jace, and I'm kind of... It was, for me, it was the worst one was a toss-up between Debonair Jace and Debonair Ezreal, because they're both kind of... They're just wearing tuxes. But the thing that made me choose, like, Debonair Jace as the worst one over Debonair Ezreal is that Ezreal's tux looks like it fits him. Ezreal's tux looks like it was actually fitted to him, like he's actually supposed to be wearing it, whereas Debonair Jace with, like, these long coattails, but then he's wearing brown pants? Brown pants? With a white coat and a red rose and a black bow tie? Brown and a brown waistcoat? What the hell? Like, I can forgive the brown gloves, I suppose, but it's like... brown pants, really? With black shoes, like... No! It's supposed to be fashionable. It's supposed to look well put together and good. And yes, he's got the salty, like the salt and pepper thing and the sexy stubble thing, and I guess a lot of people are into that, but no, this is just not well put together enough to be a good Debonair skin. Like, Ezreal kind of sucks too, because it's just Ezreal in a tuxedo, but it's Ezreal in a tuxedo that fucking fits him, though. So, sorry, Jace. You were the original, but you're not the best anymore. But they're basically a B tier, because Debonair Vi is really good. She's not the best one. That's still Debonair Galio's the best execution, but Debonair Vi is really good. I really like Debonair Vi. Yeah, Hangover Jace. Yeah, that's he looks more like he's been at a great party the night before, and now he's kind of woken up. Right. What's next? Demon. Let's look at the demons. Now, the demon line in general is pretty good. It's got a lot of great skins in it. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, Gatekeeper Galio and Demon Vi and Little Demon Tristana are three of the best skins in the game. Like, they're absolutely fantastic. I love them. It's also one of the smaller skin lines. It's only got 4 skins, so it's just, like, barely above the cutoff that I set for skin lines in the game. But my favorite one is Little Demon Tristana. First of all, because her splash art is so cool, like, that does count for something, but also just because it's such a good execution on her character model with the horns, and she already has, like, Tristana already has a lot of animations that fit the mischievous little hell demon attitude that she's supposed to have as this character, and that's just a really nicely well put together, well fit combination of the two. Like, Demon Vi is also really far up there. Like, it was between Tristana and Vi for the best one on this one, but I gave it to Tristana because she has that, she's both cute and kind of scary, whereas Demon Vi is more like step on me mommy. That's kind of her energy. But with Demon Tristana, it's more like cute and scary, which I think fits the idea better. Which means the worst one, by process of elimination, not because it's bad, but just by process of elimination, is Little Devil Teemo. And this is a really good skin, by the way. It's a really good skin. The Demon line generally is a really good skin line. But out of them all, the worst one is probably Little Devil Teemo. And only for one reason, because it's obvious. Like, oh yeah, Teemo is Satan. That's obvious. It's really well executed. I really like this skin for Teemo, but it's also obvious. It's not that surprising. Whereas Gatekeeper Galio, like, he looks like an intimidating prince of hell. Like, he really genuinely looks like, oh shit, like you go to the afterlife and you see that thing, you know you're fucked up. Like, he looks badass, he looks cool, he looks huge, he looks intimidating. And Little Devil Teemo is just a little bit obvious. Still, the demonic line is an S tier for me as a whole. Because Teemo, it's still a good skin, guys. It's still a good skin. It's just, it's a very obvious joke about Teemo. So, Dragon World. This is another one of those, like, wide skin lines that seems to have been grafted together from at least a couple of different things. Where the hell did... Oh, goddammit, I closed down my window with the skin lines. Just give me a sec. There. So, in Dragon World, we have Dragon Knight Mordecai, so Dragon Master Swain, Dragon Oracle Udyr, Dragon Sorceress Syra, Dragon Trainer Heimerdinger, Dragon Trainer Lulu, Dragon Trainer Tristana, Dragon Slayer Braum, Dragon Slayer Diana, Dragon Slayer Jarvan IV, Dragon Slayer Olaf, Dragon Slayer Pantheon, Dragon Slayer Trundle, Dragon Slayer Vayne, and Dragon Slayer Xin Shao. So it's a pretty big skin line. There's a lot of delta there. And for me, I feel like Dragon Trainer and Dragon Slayer, or like Dragon Master and Dragon Trainer and Dragon Sorceress, should maybe be a different sub-skin line than Dragon Slayer, because it feels like they're on the opposite side of the thing. But in general, it's a pretty good skin line. Let's just put it in the A tier where it belongs immediately. That I quite like. And the best one, again, it has to be a Tristana. Like, it's such a cute skin. It's Tristana with a little dragon, and she uses the dragon like a cannon. It's adorable. I love it. Like, Dragon Master Swain is good, but it's also just good. This is adorable, and every time I see it, it makes me happy, and that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Like, Dragon Trainer Tristana just looks like I want an animated series about these two idiots going on dragon adventures in Dragonland. How to Train Your Dragon 6. That should be this movie. I love them. They're good. And every time Tristana dies and the little dragon snuggles up to her and is like, Tristana, are you okay? Like, it breaks my heart, man. So that's really good, and I really like it. On the flip side of the coin, yeah. I mean, I don't really need to say much about this, do I? It's like, what the fuck is, like, what? And again, much like with Caitlyn, this is because it's a really old skin. It's a really old Vayne skin where you can see they just go, oh, she should, because Vayne girl has titty, should be sexy. Whether or not that adds anything to the skin. Like, again, as I've said before, I'm completely okay with stripper skins, but it should just look like they should be a point to making them sexy. And here it's like, she's a dragon hunter, and she's got a full face helmet, but then she wears a fucking bikini? What? Why? Like, why? You could give her a cool dragon armor, and you do this nonsense. Anyway, it's an old, crappy skin, and it sucks. But Dragon World, as a whole, generally goes in the A tier, because most of the skins in there are really good. Right. Let's check in with chat again. How are we all doing today? Event Horizon S tier, huh? Oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna disappoint you a little bit. Dragon Vayne is a side quest in Dark Souls 3 when you get there. Eh? Don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, chat. I'm gonna have to turn on slow mode because I cannot follow a word that you all are saying right now. The chat is either horny or angry. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, that's me on most days too these days. Like, good lord. Quarantine really is doing a number on us. Okay, now I can follow things a little bit better. I hope Star Guardian will be S tier. You'll be happy then, I think. It's gonna have a good ranking. Debonair will be revamped next year. Yeah, they're trying something new. They're not revamping the old skins, but they're doing new Debonair skins, and they're trying something new for them, I've heard. Come on, Sky, there's only 2,726 people there. 2,725 now, so one of them left. People are sounding off whether they're on Team Horny or Angry. Why not both? We can be both. Unless we're asexual, in which case, I guess only one of them, probably. More happy birthdays. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wanted to... Hey, Amanda! How you doing? Almost didn't see you there. Chat is scrolling so fast. Oh god, I can't follow. Oh, everybody's Team Horny. The problem with every time you say Team Horny, YouTube's word filters forces me to manually approve your message. It filters out horny. God damn it, YouTube. Horny isn't a bad word. Oh well. Why is Elderwood C? I missed it. You'll have to go... I'm not going to reiterate it right now, but you'll have to go back and look. And Elderwood is C, like TLDR, because some of the skins are great, but some of them aren't that good at all. Oh, a lot of Team Horny in chat. Well, I guess that's no surprise. Anyway, let's move on to Event Horizon. Now, Event Horizon, and I've talked about that earlier in the stream, but Event Horizon is one of those big skin lines. Like, it's really big. It includes Cosmic Lux, Cosmic Blade Master Yi, Cosmic Dawn Rakan, Cosmic Defender Xin Shao, Cosmic Dusk Saya, Cosmic Enchantress Lulu, Cosmic Queen Ash, Cosmic Reaver Kazan, Dark Cosmic Jin, Dark Cosmic Lux, Dark Star Cho'Gath, Jarvan Karma, Kha'Zix, Malphite, Mordekaiser, Orianna, Shaco, Thresh, Varus, Serath, and a Prestige edition of Malphite as well. So there's a lot of shit in there, and I considered for a while splitting it up into two so that I would rank the Cosmic skins separately from the Dark Star skins, but here's the thing. The Cosmic skins aren't that good. At least I don't think so. Like, generally speaking, like, Cosmic Dawn Rakan, he's got hair on fire, and this is like, they mostly just look like, aesthetically, like Cosmic Queen Ash, Cosmic Reaver Kazan, Cosmic Enchantress Lulu, they just look like generic fantasy, like, knights and wizards. Cosmic Defenders and Shout. They're just like people in armor who are like magic and stuff. Which for me puts them really close to stuff like the Arclight line aesthetically without having something to really differentiate them. And the thing that makes Darkstar skins so fucking good is their sense of scale, is that you have your Darkstar Cho'Gaths and Jarvans and Darkstar Karma and Kha'Zix, like, that really look like these world-ending cosmic horrors from beyond the stars. They look inhuman. They look terrifying. You have Darkstar Cosmic Jin, who is fucking amazing. They look like these cosmic entities, where these things just look like space heroes from some Super Sentai show, which is just not very interesting. So, ultimately, what I decided to do was rank them all together, because they're all part of the same universe, and just say, obviously Darkstar Jin is the best one, cause he's the best one, cause he's so fucking cool. He has the crazy eye thing going on, he's got the extra arms, he's got fantastic voiceover lines. Like, he's a legendary skin, I believe, so, like, no wonder. And the worst one is probably Cosmic Dawn, or Cosmic Dusk Saya, cause again, it's just Saya, but she's wearing gold and blue now, instead of, like, purple and red. But it's like, she doesn't look cosmic. She doesn't look like she belongs among the stars, protecting worlds from the predations of, like, dark entities from beyond the call of the void. She just looks like Saya with some other stuff on. So that one goes in A tier. Because, like, the cosmic skins are cool. Darkstar alone would absolutely be an S tier. But because Riot decided to put them all together and say, no, they're all part of the same universe, then fine. They have to take the consequence that Cosmic drags them down to an A. Right. Let's see. Fables. Right. Fables. Now, there's one. Did I forget to get a second one for that? No, I haven't. Good. Yeah, the VFX for Cosmic are good, but the characters are still boring. Like, it's not interesting. Whereas Darkstar is interesting. Darkstar has fucking amazing SFX. So, Fables is another one of those, like, another one like many of the skin lines that's sort of vaguely put together from skins that used to be joke skins. So Fables includes Ghost Bride Morgana and Leprechaun Vigar and Loch Ness Cho'Gath and Muse Sona and Siren Cassiopeia and Valkyrie Leona, which are these sort of, like, Valkyrie Leona and Siren Cassiopeia and Muse Sona are more mythology skins, like from like ancient Greek mythology, and then you have Ghost Bride Morgana, who's La Llorona it's I think specifically like a Mexican folktale about a ghost bride thing that I'm not really well versed in, but it also has like Valkyrie Leona and Dark Valkyrie Diana, who are like with Valkyrie Leona looking like she's aesthetically from Greek mythology, but being a Valkyrie, she's supposed to be from Norse mythology, and leprechauns. It's one of those awkward skin lines that was just kind of mushed together with a bunch of skins that didn't fit in anywhere else. Anyway, the best one by far is Sasquatch, Nunu, and Willump, because after the rework, all of the Nunu skins are fucking amazing, because Nunu is a great, Nunu and Willump are a fantastic champion, and all of the skins are fucking amazing, and this is just a wonderful boy and his monster, kind of adventurous, cheerful, funny. This looks like it would make for a great, like, Netflix original kids series kind of thing. It's a fantastic little skin. On the other side of that, we have, like, Dark Valkyrie Diana, who for me fails on a couple of points. First of all, she doesn't look like a Valkyrie. Like, nothing about her character design says Old Norse mythology whatsoever. Nothing about it. And that's true for Valkyrie Leona as well. Like, she looks Greek. She doesn't look Old Norse. But at least she looks vaguely like a Wagnerian version of a Valkyrie. Sorta, kinda. But Diana is just the worst version of the two. Because it's like, there's green and purple and brown and red and blue and yellow and gold and silver. It's this complete... it's a color disaster. Like, it has no consistent aesthetic on its own. And it has the sexy default. Like, it's just, oh, she's got her bare midriff and the titty out and thighs because, I guess, default because of reasons. I don't know. Which is like, yeah, and it's like, a lot of the Fable skins are pretty bad. Like, Leprechaun Vigar isn't great either, but at least he's kind of funny. Loch Ness Cho'Gath is just sea monster. Cho'Gath doesn't really feel like it has anything to do with anything. Muse Sona is a little bit obvious, but this one is just aesthetically a disaster. Like, this combination of colors just doesn't look good at all, which is a pity. So that's one of those, like, because of Ghost Bride Morgana, I'm gonna say it's an acceptable skin line, but a lot of the skins in this line, you could just delete them, and I wouldn't. Like, Loch Ness Cho'Gath, I wouldn't care. Dark Valkyrie and Valkyrie Leona and Diana, I wouldn't care. Siren Cassiopeia, who cares? They're like, they're not good enough anymore, really. Right then. What's next? Forgotten Depths. Right. So Forgotten Depths is another one, like many of the skin lines. It's another one that's thrown together from stuff. You have Atlantean Fizz and Syndra are in there, but then also Deep One Kassadin and Deep Sea Kog'Maw was like, oh, we have Deep Sea characters, I guess, vaguely. Sort of vaguely being thrown together so that they form a skin line-ish. The best one of them is obviously Forgotten Depths Thresh. Cause look at him. Or Deep Terror Thresh, rather. Look at him. That's a very... with the little tentacle squid thing going on, he's got the pirate outfit, and he's got, like, the claw and the diving bell for a lantern. Yeah. That's a cool-ass motherfucking skin. I used to play with this one all the time back when I played Thresh a lot. And then on the other side of that, Deep One Kassadin is just kind of... No. No. He's just Khazadin, but with sea-themed coloring instead of void coloring. And it doesn't even look like a diving helmet. Like, the helmet at least should look like a diving helmet, but it doesn't. It looks like some evil sort... He doesn't look like a sea monster. He looks like a cult leader who lives on land. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about Forgotten Depths. It's another C tier. Where the really good stuff, like Deep Terra Thresh and Deep Sea Nami, which are pretty damn good, and Atlantean Fizz, which is at least charming, kind of make up for the crappier stuff like Deep 1 Khazadin. Right. Glacial, that's an F tier. I don't like Glacial at all. Glacial includes Frozen Shen, which is just Shen, but with a little bit of eyes on him. Frozen Terra Nocturne, which is terrible. All Nocturne skins are terrible. Nocturne is terrible. Glacial Malphite and Glacial Olaf, which is like... they're champions, but they have ice on them. It's Sub-Zero, but what if Shen? Which is like... that was... and you can see Glacial Olaf is just a palette swap for Olaf. And that's kind of... It's a skin line of really old skins that don't fit anywhere else and don't have a strong identity. And even after the rework, they couldn't make Glacial Shen look cool. Or Frozen Blade Shen look cool. So... It's like one of those, like, if you deleted this one from the game, I don't think that many people would mourn it. Because, like, who cares, really? Right. I need water. No, for some reason, Frostbutt Irelia isn't glacial. She's not in that skin line. I don't know why. She isn't, though. What would you think of a steampunk skin line? I don't think that would... I mean, we kind of have that ish with Hextech. Like, the heck, it's sort of... We already have a steampunk region in League of Legends, which is Piltover. Like, a lot of Piltover's aesthetic is very deeply informed by steampunk, so it would be kind of... It would be kind of unnecessary to have a steampunk skin line as such. Oh, there was a super chat I missed. Burr Ortolan. Excited for the Spirit Blossom ranking. It's my new favorite skin line in the entire game. Happy birthday. Keep doing your amazing job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. That's better. Moving on to Guardian of the Sands. Now, this is a skin line that I've got slightly mixed feelings about sometimes because, like, some of them are so fucking good. I really like Guardian of the Sands Rengar. Or he's, what's his actual skin line name? It's got... It is Guardian of the Sands Rengar, yeah. I really like Guardian of the Sands Rengar because it takes Rengar, who's like, he's a furry, like, already, and says, okay, when we have a furry character, the most obvious thing to do is shift the species around a little bit. And so they turn him into a desert serval, like a serval cat, which is a species of kitty cat that's native to the deserts, and turn that into the concept for the skin, which gives him that desert theming, makes him feel like he would fit in Shurima, like just a Shuriman champion if they wanted to go that route. And also, like, tomb raiding champions is, like, a tomb raiding character is always kind of cool, like Indiana Jones thing, but more mean, I suppose. So I really like that. I like that they said, okay, Rengar, one of the obvious things we can do for skins on Rengar is to turn him into different species of cat, and finally did it, because a lot of his skins don't do that. So you can see, like, his whole, like, where Rengar in his base form has this big, thick beard, and he's got, like, it's very big and chunky. Here, they've redefined the anatomy of the character a little bit to make him much more lithe, much more kind of slender looking, a little bit more agile, rather than being this big, heavy battle tank of a kitty cat. So I really like that. Like, that's a really well-executed skin. And to be clear, there's lots of great, like, Guardian of the Sands Rammus is fantastic because he's got the whole Scarab thing going on. I like Guardian of the Sands Skarner because it makes more sense for Skarner than being a crystal scorpion. Anyway, Guardian of the Sands Serath is very cool because, again, it's that, like, ancient horror looking below. I'm not so fond of Guardian of the Sands Janna, but she's still fine. The worst one ultimately for me was probably Sandwraith Pike, just because everything else in Guardian of the Sands is so focused around tombs. Like, it's so focused around like the things that lurk beneath the tombs. And then Sandwraith Pike is like, he's more of a thing that lurks in the sand dunes outside the tombs in general. It's not bad. It's just out of all of the skins, it was a toss-up between Sandwraith Pike and Guardian of the Sand Janna, for which one I liked the least, and Pike ultimately was the one that came out on top there, as it were, because it's like he's got this mummy thing going on where he's mummified, but he's also wearing pants, but he's also wearing a hood, but he's also wearing like gold. Like, what do you want to go with here? Like, is he a mummy or a ghost? What's the deal here? It's a little confused, but they're all good. Like, Guardian of the Sands in general is an A-tier skin line for me. Unlike Headhunter, which is like, no, fuck it, C-tier. I don't like Headhunter. I just don't like it at all. Like, I know in quality it's probably more like a C, but for me, I just don't like Headhunter. Like, even the best one, which is the Headhunter, the Akali, they just, like, I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. It look like some... what's the concept here of the whole Headhunter universe? It's a thing where you have, like, something like Headhunter Rengar, for example, which has this weird, wild, tribal, sort of, dark sci-fi fantasy thing going on, kinda-ish, where he's, like, adorned in bones. He's got that Monster Hunter aesthetic going on a little bit, okay. But then you have Akali and Caitlyn, who are all, like, super high-tech, the Predator, but not the Predator, vaguely kind of rainy jungle thing, but they don't look like they belong in the jungle, though. Like, they don't look like they belong in a rainy jungle. They look like they belong on the rooftops of some, like, cyberpunk civilization thing. I think the Headhunter line for me, has always just kind of been crappy. Like, Headhunter Nidalee is cool, and Headhunter Akali is cool, but aesthetically, I have no fucking idea what they're supposed to be. Like, I can't read the skin line, except badass, and masks, and lasers, and metal, and stuff. The worst one by far, though, is Headhunter Master Yi, because he doesn't even have the sci-fi thing down. He doesn't have Headhunter Rengar's, like, tribal, like, sci-fi space jungle thing going on, and he doesn't have the cool laser, cyberpunky, sort of goth club rave that went wrong, vaguely aesthetic of something like Akali. He's just a dude with a fucking sword that's serrated for some reason. Which really seems like the kind of thing they could have fixed with his rework back in the day, but for some reason they didn't. No, I don't like the skin line. It's just, like, at best, it's a little cool. At best, it's kind of cool. That's the best it can do. But, yeah, like... Anyway, moving on to Heartseeker. Now, Heartseeker is another composite line, because it's composed of both Heartseeker and Sweetheart, and something like Heartpiercer and Heartbreaker Vi, and Fiora. But it's the Valentine's Day themed skin line for the game, and there's a whole bunch of them, and they're all kind of, like, most of them are kind of samey to me. They all have this kind of Alice in Wonderland aesthetic thing going on, like everybody's in the court of the Red Queen, except Heartseeker Lucian, who has more of a Lothario thing. And they're all, like, they're mostly good. They're mostly cutesy and kind of fine and decent. Except for whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Like, I don't even know what to say about Heartseeker Vayne. Because to me, it's just so bad. Like, it's so obviously, gloriously terrible. Like, it sucks. Like, it's like Bayonetta, but drawn by me when I was in 6th grade. Like, oh, good lord. Like, the in-game model is the obvious, like, what the fuck is this haircut? Like, the in-game model is terrible. Like, that's the obvious misery here. But the splash art isn't much better. Like, a lot of the Heartseeker skins are sexy and hot, and they're supposed to be. Like, you have like your hot flyboy Varus, that, like, a lot of people really appreciated the Riot creating this one. You have your cutesy things like Heartseeker Yumi and Jinx, and you have like some really like very explicitly sexualized skins like Heartseeker Ash, which is actually a really good skin, I think. Like this one where she's got like the bustier and the whole thing with like the long thigh highs. Like, this is really hot Ash skin. I really like that. But this doesn't look hot. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know what the deal is with any of this. Like, with the... Like, how do they manage to make cleavage look unappealing? This doesn't look like hot cleavage. It just looks like, I don't know, a couple of bags of flesh with some red grafted onto it. Like, no. And, like, with the thigh-high pink socks that are all cutesy, but then she's got this dark dominatrix aesthetic thing vaguely going on. Like, no. Terrible. Absolutely horrible. Don't like that at all. I do like these two, though, because they're girlfriends. Like, let's look at them. They take the joint first place. The Heartbreaker Vi and Heartpiercer Fiora, they take joint first place for me, because they're in lesbians with each other. Like, look at, like, that is horny shit. That is some horny sword lesbian, punch lesbian, horny shit, and I love that. Because that's what, like, Heartseeker skins should be about that. They should be about, like, all kinds of romantic and sexual attraction and love. And that shit right there, that's some horny shit. It's not lewd. It's not lewd. It's not like, titty all over the place and thighs, but that's horny. Like, she's got the handkerchief that she's bringing back to the lady, and she's got the sword on the shoulder going, oh, yes. Like, yes. Good. Very good. I like that a lot. Because Vi has the more butch aesthetic, and then Fiora has this very high femme thing going on. Good combination. Love that. That's excellent. So generally, like, despite the vain catastrophe, Heartseeker is one of those classic B lines for me. Because it's a solid skin line that does exactly what it's supposed to do. So, Heavy Metal is a weird one. Because Heavy Metal includes Full Machine Victor, Full Metal Jace, Full Metal Pantheon, and Full Metal Rammus, but also Nunu and Willem Bot, which I don't understand. I don't understand that. The lore of Heavy Metal, of the Heavy Metal skin line, is that it's sort of a vaguely semi-dystopian future where there's like robot fighting tournaments ish that are televised, and it's supposed to be sort of an internal joke about, oh, the future when Riot owns the world, where they have the Full Metal Robot Fighting League that's owned by Riot Games, and then but I don't really know how to parse it. It's one of those confused skin lines that sort of has an internal lore, but also mostly doesn't. So yeah, but my favorite one of those, and I'm sorry for this here, like I tried to find a model viewer version of Nunu Willembot, but the model viewer just compressed some textures down and created this horrible monstrosity in the middle. It's supposed to look like this, but Nunu and Willembot, since apparently they're part of that skin line, are definitely the best one for me. Again, like I said, Nunu and Willem's skins are just so good. They're so extra. They're so next level. But this is adorable. Like, once again, like the plucky young shonen hero boy who has his, like, robot friend who's made out of scrapped parts that they work on, and they fight in the robot fighting league in order to get money for their sick mother or something, like, whatever. Very cute, very good, very adorable, and I like it. The worst one is not bad, it's not terrible, but it's also just, like, it's Jace, again. Full Metal Jace, because, like, he's fine. He's probably one of the better Jace skins, but he's just not interesting. Like, again, it's just, what if Jace but robot power armor, I guess. Where, if the whole idea was you had this robot fighting league from the future, you'd think that, oh, put sponsorships on him, like, put little decals for Riot Corp or whatever, like, make it flashy, make it showy, make it look like it's part of a sports league of some kind. But I think Full Metal Jace was kind of retconned into that idea later on down the line, because originally he was just designed to be Jace, but in a suit of armor. It's fine. Like, it's another one of those B-tier skin lines. But Full Metal Jace has always been boring to me. Like, not bad, just boring. How about a Cyberpunk skin line starring Cyberpop? So we have a Cyberpunk skin line. It's called Project. That's very explicitly a Cyberpunk themed skin line. We don't have a great Cyberpunk scheme thin line. We'll get to that. But oh, Fume Knight, happy Cake Day. Thank you very much. Sorry about the small quantity. Just wanted to highlight that Commando Gangplank in Brazil has incredible voice lines about elite troops. A BR movie. That's very cool. And Sin is so real. Please don't apologize for not giving me a lot of money. Like, don't ever feel pressured to give me money. Like, I don't want that. I don't want anyone to feel pressured or feel bad because they can't donate. I don't want that. Please don't. Right. How's everybody doing in chat? I'm gonna get myself some water. Chat delay. Will you put the tier list out for everyone to use, please? Oh, I can give you the link right now, actually. If you want to make your own, there it is. I'll put that in the description once we're done with the stream. Right. TB is gone. No, I'm still here. I'm still here. But yeah, it's gonna be a long day. High Noon is good, but it also has crappy skins. Oh yeah, we'll get to High Noon. High Noon is one of those. Ooh boy. Silver Age. Yes, we'll get to that one as well. That's another one of those composite skin lines. To appreciate the deep skins, you need to get your deck under 15 cards. Ha ha. Very funny. Kim's chips or Taffel? Definitely Kim's. Taffel always, they have this weird gunky taste to them and I don't like. Will you upload this after you're done? I don't know if you mean the tier list or the video, because in both cases the answer is yes. Thank you for that super chat, Spike Mouths. I don't know what you were trying to say, because you retracted the message, but thank you. A surprise party cut. There's only one surprise party skin, and that's no, a surprise party is part of the it's part of the where is it? April Fools. Surprise party is part of the April Fools skin line, I believe. I think. It's complicated. Like, skin lines are complicated. I had to ask some rioters about it, and they didn't even know where some of the skins fit in. So we're just going by whatever is listed in the client. So I don't remember, but okay. Aren't True Damage and KDA in the same universe? Yes, technically. But they're also separate skin lines. So I've decided to treat them that way. Is it really fair to hold it against good skin lines when they have old, bad skins mushed in because they're vaguely thematically similar? I mean, I don't think it's fair, but that's on Riot. Like, Riot are the ones who did that. And they say this is part of the skin line, and so obviously I have to judge them as such. Okay, buy yourself more water. Yes, thank you. I could do that. Right. Let's get into Hex Tech. So Hex Tech is another one of those, like, a skin line that's changed over time. Because Hex Tech started out as just, like, a skin line. Like, just, I believe it started out with Hex Tech Janna, who was the very first one, and then we had Hex Tech Galio, I think, was that one? There was a few Hextech skins back in the day, but then Hextech became the skin line that was associated with crafting in League of Legends. And so Riot put out a whole bunch of them in order to encourage people to use the crafting system and buy keys and stuff like that. So it changed character over time, and it's got some okay skins. It's got some perfectly decent ones, and it's got some crappy ones. And we'll start with a crappy one. This is Hextech Scion. And he looks crappy. Like, he just looks bad. He's sort of, as far as I can tell, he's kinda, sorta, vaguely supposed to be like a Frankenstein's monster kind of deal. Ish. But then he's got all this like, steampunk nonsense grafted onto him that doesn't fit the Frankenstein zombie monster thing that they were going for otherwise. And then he's got a big hammer because that's his weapon, obviously. But it's like, it's a really confused, like, Hextech Janna also kind of sucks a little bit in comparison to what Hextech has become, but at least I can see what that's supposed to be. She's supposed to be a steampunk inventor character. With this one, it's just like, let's just mash a bunch of shit together and see if it sticks, and it doesn't. It's a mess, both in terms of aesthetics and color, but also because it's part of the same skin line as the rest of the Hextech skins, which are these sleek, slick, cool-looking sort of magical, mechanical, automaton thing creations that are, like, really cool and badass. Like, stuff like Hextech Poppy and Hextech Annie, like, really cool and slick and sleek. And then we have this rotting zombie corpse also thrown in on top of it because of reasons, I guess. That is just like, But I really like Hextech Malzahar. I like him because because of the mask, especially because of that expressionless face and the way that he's like hunched over in this like S curve that he's got going on with a big chunky jetpack thing that he's wearing on his back. I think this is a really cool execution of like a Hextech version of Malzahar, and he's got really cool Voidlings in his Hextech skin as well. There's a lot of good Hextech skins, to be clear, but this one's my favorite. But that Hextech is another one of the B tier, like mostly fine, with a few stinkers in there. So, it's time for High Noon, I suppose. I really like High Noon as a concept. Well, I like it recently. I didn't used to like. Are the B skins by default B tier? Yama, thank you very much. Very funny, my friend. Right. High Noon. High Noon is, like, I really want... Like, High Noon should be S tier. It should be S tier, because it deserves to be there, but Riot fucked it up. Riot fucked it up, and let me show you how they fucked it up. That's how they fucked it up. They fucked it up so bad. They fucked it up with, like, especially with the Sheriff Caitlyn. Again, Caitlyn skins are just bad, because she's a really old, crappy character design. And High Noon has as part of it Bandito Fiddlesticks, Cowgirl Misfortune, Desperada Cassiopeia, and Longhorn Alistar, Sonoran Cockmaw, and Sandscourge Skarner. And most of these are like oldie Wild West themed comedy joke skins. Like, for instance, Sheriff Misfortune, who's not... She's not from the High Noon universe, she's like a circus cowgirl. That's basically what she is. Cowgirl Misfortune is like a little bit better than that, but it's still like, it's a howdy cowboy. It's a funny joke cowboy skin. It's supposed to be hilarious. Same thing goes for Desperada Cassiopeia, who throws snakes at people and wears a skirt, I guess, and like a bustier along with like, it's very kind of bad and confused. And that's what drags High Noon down really, really hard, is that they have these old, really crappy skins that's thrown on top of it that just don't fit in there. But then you get the newer High Noon skins. Then you get the ones that they've written since, like they reforged, like the reframed High Noon to be this like dark, dystopian, dangerous, devil and demons infested Western high gothic, like really like dark angels, demons, cool shit happening all over the place. And that shit is S tier. That shit is double S tier. It's just my trash. High Noon Lucian, High Noon Senna, High Noon Thresh, High Noon Urgot. Yes, let's pump that shit into my fucking veins. That's good. High Noon Darius and Hecarim's like, yeah, it's fine. But like, oh, this dark cowboy devils and demons thing, like, yes. Holy shit, I love it. And High Noon Senna is the best one of the lot. First of all, because this is hot. And second of all, because her gun is a horse, and her horse is a gun. Which I think is such a fucking cool way to do a fucking cowboy skin. But, like, yes, the newer High Noon skins, so fucking good. But the old ones are just trash garbage. Like, they're terrible. They should be deleted. Like, they're not good. I don't like them. Right then. Oh, right, High Society. Yeah, here's another weird one. Because High Society is composed of a odd mix of skins. Because some of the skins in High Society, I think, are they're supposed to be April 1st skins. Like, they're supposed to be April Fool's skins. They're joke skins. It's stuff like Gentleman Nar and Gentleman Cho'Gath and Archduke Nasus. Archduke Nasus, who appears with the Banana Soraka and Earth Nami, and the chicken Udyr skin, which is, like, clearly supposed to be a fucking joke skin, but then it also includes Aristocrat Vayne and Marquis Vladimir. Which is like, it's such an odd mix of things that don't seem to have anything to do with each other, and for that reason, for me, it's an F tier as a skin line. Like, there's some good individual skins in there. I like Gentleman Nar. Gentleman Nar is fantastic. It's a gorgeous, wonderful little skin. I love him so much. But the skin line, is confused nonsense. Like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense for Marquis Vladimir and this goth aristocrat Vayne thing to be in the same skin line as Gentleman Nar and Gentleman Cho'Gath. Gentleman Cho'Gath, by the way, the worst skin of the line, and mostly because Cho'Gath is just old. But as a skin line, it's complete nonsense. It needs to be split up into something else. Because it doesn't make... It's one of those that was thrown together at random from skins that don't fit together at all. And I think it's a terrible mistake. Anyway, I know a lot of people are very fond of Gentleman Cho'Gath. I know, but a lot of people like him because he's got the highfalutin British voice. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, yes, I say. Which is very funny. But he's... Like, Cho'Gath is kind of a terrible character model already. And it's not improved by the disastrous, chaotic mess that is the things that they grafted onto his character model, like with the pipe and the wine and the top hat and the like, it's a joke skin from a long time ago, and you can tell it's showing its age very badly. So yeah, I mean, Gentleman Nar deserves better. He deserves better than this terrible mishmash of a skin line. Moving on to Immortal Journey. The best one in Immortal Journey, at least I think so. Like, Immortal Journey is a big skin line of, like, sort of vaguely Chinese Pan-Asian mythology kind of thing. So you have your Enduring Sword, Talon, Eternal Sword, Yi. Godfist Lee Sin is in there. God's Staff, Jax. It's also one of those skin lines that's a little confused because I don't feel like Enduring Sword, Talon, and Eternal Sword, Yi are kind of the same, in the same place as Godfist Lee Sin and Godstaff Jax. And Divine Sword Aurelia looks much more Greek than she looks, especially like Pan-Asian Chinese kind of thing. You also got Sacred Sword Janna and like Valiant Sword Riven in there. The skin line itself is another B tier. It's mostly fine, but the best one out of them, I think, is Empress Morgana. Majestic Empress Morgana, excuse me, Your Majesty. Just because, yes, this looks like the sorceress witch queen of some ancient Chinese mythology. Like, it looks like that kind of aesthetic. I'm not an expert, mind you, on Chinese mythology. I'm not an expert on that folklore, so I don't want to like overstate my expertise here. But this one is the one that to me feels the most like it fits into that aesthetic and is best executed upon in her actual skins. On the other hand, I'm not a huge fan of Valiant Sword Riven, just because it's like it's just a hot girl with a sword that I don't... Aesthetically, she's not that interesting. She's just wearing like a vaguely Chinese-looking costume. Vaguely. Again, not an expert on the subject. And she's got a sword, and it's like it's just not very interesting. I don't have a massive criticism of it. It's just, this is not just boring to me. It's just not very fun. Sometimes you don't, like, sometimes things are just boring to you. Oh, there's some super chats. Malzahar looks like he pooped his pants. Oh, you mean Hextech Malzahar? Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. That's why the Forgotten Depths got C tier. Oh, Whiteful Fro Pressling, very good. Very good. I'm learning that Caitlyn ruins skin lines today. Yeah, unfortunately she does, because her model is just fundamentally so ugly these days. Happy birthday, Sky. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't know how much 10,000 rubles is, but thank you for all of them, BH. Let me just check. Oh, Jesus, that's $139. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Oh, Lord, that's a lot. Thank you. And thank you to Sir Hyan Arts for the $20. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. And Sigurd Wu, thank you very much for that as well. That's very, very kind of you. Damn. Thank you. Don't really know what to say about that. Oy. Where were we? Oh, yes, Infernal. Yeah, let me just get some water. Oy. That's very... again, please... I know when, like, people send me super chats and stuff, don't feel like you should be pressured into sending me money to participate. Like, please don't feel like that. I'm very, very grateful, but don't I don't want anyone to feel bad for not sending super chats. Okay. Infernal. Right, Infernal. Infernal is a mixed bag. It's got a lot of good skins, though, and generally, I'm a little bit, like, I feel like it belongs in B, but there's a couple of skins that pulls it up to A for me. Specifically, those two skins are, first of all, Charred Lord Aurelian Sol. Just because that's, yes, fire dragon, but not like a flame dragon like you're used to. This albino dragon with, like, flames coming out of everywhere. He looks better with his visual effects on, obviously, but I've always really liked Ashen Lord Aurelian Sol. Like, that's a really freaking cool skin concept. And then, of course, you've got the iconic, like, the absolutely iconic Infernal Nasus, who looks fantastic. Like, a lot of the Infernal skins, as Nikrit likes to say, are just, like, a skin which is on fire and has fire everywhere, which is true, but things like Charred Maokai and Infernal Nasus and Shadowfire Kindred, which is really good as well, are like, if you're gonna have, like, fire-themed skins, this is, like, a cool way to do it, and I really like that. So that drags it up to an A for me, even though champions like Infernal Alistar and Infernal Akali and Infernal Diana are all very samey, and are just like, it's just what if X but on fire kind of thing, which really should put it more in a C tier, but I have an affection for this skin line all the same. Worst one of the line, I think, is Foxfire Akali. Ari, rather. Foxfire Ari, just because, like, everything else has this sort of hellish, like, elementals of the plane of fire, kind of, like, really very heavily fire-themed, and then this one is just a browser. Like, this is just a browse. Like, it's Firefox. Haha, get it? It's Firefox. Ha Foxfire, fire. That's literally what it is. And it's a nice, decent-looking skin-ish on its own, but compared to the rest of what's in the line, it doesn't really fit in, and it's kind of boring. But still, because I like there's some of the skins that, like, just I adore in the Infernal line, I give it an A, even though it probably is, like, more in the B or C tier, frankly. But, you know, I mean, you can make your own tier list and correct my mistakes if you want to. I am completely okay with that. This is just my opinion. Let's see. Oh, there was another. Membura, have you seen any Crypt TV stuff? And if you have, would you consider looking at their original horror? I don't know what Crypt TV is, so no, I can't really help you with that one. What about Foxfire Ari and Wild Rift? Well, Wild Rift isn't out yet. And also, it's not League of Legends, the base League of Legends skins, which we're looking at right now. So now, KDA, that's an A tier for me. Of course, it's one of the smaller skin lines. It doesn't really have that many characters in it. But it has a lot of prestige editions. It has 4 base skins, and then it has 4 prestige editions on top of that. I'm gonna ignore the prestige editions, just because why would I spend my time on... They're just the same, but in white and gold. I do like Prestige Edition Kai'Sa, like, who's very plainly modeled after Taylor Swift. Like, that's a little bit more interesting than KDA Kai'Sa as a base. But for me, it's like an A tier, just because, like, it's supposed to be this cool-ass K-pop pop group. They had a really good song to go along with it. They look cool and iconic. There's been a million billion cosplays of all of them already. It's very successful, and KDA Akali is amazing. Like if she hadn't had that blacklight rap segment with the mask that moves around and the thing, and no, obviously it wouldn't be as good, but because she does have that and it's part of her skin, like when you use her smoke effect that she does that blacklight thing, that shit fucking rules. Like, that's fucking amazing, and I really, really like that. On the other side of the coin, I know I dump on Kai'Sa a lot. It's not a bad skin, but I feel like Kai'Sa is supposed to be the dancer of the group. Like, that's the whole point. Is like, she's the one who specializes in dancing. That's her whole thing there. And I kind of don't feel like that comes across that much in her character's skin. Like, she's got the tight leather pants, sure. But it's like, I don't... Again, I think the Prestige Edition of Kai'Sa here is a lot better because it's clearly mimicking a specific pop star, which gives it a little bit more personality. But as it is, it's just it's a really nice, like, let's be clear, really nice ass. But outside of that, it's just like, it's the least interesting one of its own line. Not bad. Like, again, it's an A-tier skin line overall. But it is... yeah. Right. Moving on to Lancer. Lancer is a skin line I kind of forgot existed. It's one of the mech skin lines. And the only reason why we're talking about it is because it technically has 4 skins. Technically. We have Lancer Paragon and Lancer Rogue Blitzcrank, which are basically 2 versions of the same skin, good version and evil version. And then we have Lancer Stratus Wukong and Lancer Zero Hecarim. And they've always felt to me like they should be part of the Mecha skin line. Like, they feel like they should be part of Mecha, or like the new Mecha Kingdoms. I don't know why they're their own particular line, but there's only 4 skins in it, and... well, I mean, for me, I guess the best one is probably, like, the evil Lancer Blitzcrank one. Just because it has, like, the samurai helmet aesthetic, and it looks a little cool, and it's got the jetpacks, and it's like... But they're all kind of... generic. The worst one, and it's not because it's that bad, it's just Hecarim is, like... He doesn't look that much like a mech in this skin. He just looks like a really big centaur. The machine part of this mech thing isn't as much on display as it is with something like the Blitzcrank, who clearly looks like he comes from a Super Sentai series of some kind. But the Lancer line itself is like a... I just don't... Why it exists, I don't know. Like, Wukong... The Wukong skin is pretty cool. But I keep forgetting that it exists. Like, I forgot that it existed even until I saw it on the list here. I'd forgotten it existed again. So I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings about it. It's just boring. It's just some mecha. All right. KJ Dragon, sorry I can't donate much, but happy birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today, and thank you for making awesome content. Again, please don't feel bad. Like, if you... Okay, let me just... Guys, if you super chat me $1, you're literally giving me more money than 1,000 people watching my videos. If 1,000 people watch my videos, that's like maybe $1 of ad revenue, right? So don't ever feel bad about, oh, it's not very... Like, $1 is... I say this at the end of all my videos. $1 is the same as thousands of views on a video. You're doing way more than you think. So please don't ever feel bad about it. And don't feel like you have to donate money. Please. Right. Luchador. Another one of the solid B tiers. Like, Luchador is like fine. I like Luchador Braum. Like, that's a great concept for the character. He's got a chair that he beats people over the head with. He's the big beefy masked wrestler guy. That works perfectly fine. Luchador Nar is cute. Like, it's cool that he has that they use the 2 forms thing as a kind of wrestling gimmick for him. And then we have whatever the fuck this is. Luchador Mundo. Is he even called Luchador? No, he's called... they're not called Luchador. It's El Tigre Braum and El Macho Mundo. But I mean, it's a Mundo. Mundo always looks terrible. All his skins look bad because Mundo looks bad. Like, they're old, rather, not bad. They're old and kind of crummy. Look at his legs in this particular skin. Like, the boots just don't map onto what his character model is at all. And I hope the rework does a much better job of it, because I don't know much about Mexican wrestling, I should say. So I don't know, is this a luchador aesthetic? Like, do you get luchadors who actually, like, who go for this kind of look? Is that a thing? I don't know, but because the model quality of Mundo is so crummy and crabby, like, the skin itself really suffers from that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot more like he's supposed to be Hulk Hogan than like a luchador. So I don't know. So, what's next? Water. Water is what's next. So, we have Lunar Revel. And Riot insists that Lunar Revel and Lunar Revel Firecracker are two different skin lines, that they're not part of the same skin universe. So I'm choosing to respect that, even though that feels weird to me. So Lunar Revel Firecracker is Dragon Wing Corki, Firecracker Jinx, Firecracker Sejuani, Firecracker Wayne, Lion Dance Kokma, Panda Annie, Firecracker Vayne, Prestige Edition. So the Firecracker skin line under Lunar Revel is more about, like, having the traditional Chinese New Year with, like, lots of partying. This is a festival going on in the streets. There's fireworks in the sky. And Lunar Revel as such is more about, like, ancient kingdoms and emperors and jade dragons and lunar empresses. Like, it's more mystical, whereas Lunar Revel Firecracker is supposed to be more, like, a little bit more down-to-earth-ish. And I quite like Lunar Revel Firecracker. Like, Dragon Wing Corki, like all Corki skins, looks kind of old and crummy, but generally, you get some really good ones. And the best one of the lot, at least in my opinion, of the Firecracker skins, is gonna be Firecracker Sejuani. Just because she's riding a giant pig, and look how cute he is! He's so happy to be there! Like, it's for the year of the pig, and it's just a perfect execution of it. It's an adorable, cute pig. And then Sejuani's, like, she's wearing a what are they called? Not a kimono. I don't think, not kimono. Kipao? Is that? No, I don't think so. I don't know Chinese fashion very well. She's wearing, like, a traditional Chinese outfit that most people would identify as such. She's using a pig-themed flail. That's all fine. Sejuani's not really the star of this skin. The pig is. And what a lovely, wonderful little piggy he is. It's just cute and adorable, and I really like it. Firecracker Jinx is good too, but he's so cute. Look at him. Fat little cheeks. He's adorable. Other side of the coin on that one, from the same skin, the same actual release of skins, we have Firecracker Vayne, who again is being let down by her model a little bit. She doesn't look terrible. Like, she's not like Heartseeker, who looks actively horrifying. She's fine, but most of the skins in the Firecracker skin line are good. So for me, it's more like this one was the least interesting version of a Year of the Pig skin in terms of, like, what's going on. But it's fine. It's not terrible, it's fine. But it's the least interesting one. Which leads us on to Lunar Revel itself, which is the more mystical, mythology-based version of sort of the same Chinese New Year thing, which for me lands down in the B tier a little bit more, because a lot of it is a little bit more confused. Like, you have some really good skins, like Lunar Wraith Caitlyn is really solid. Like, it's, for once, that's a solid Caitlyn skin that actually looks pretty good. And then you have Lunar Empress Lux, who's just, like, cute girl Lux, who is wearing the Chinese aesthetic just kind of isn't there all the time. Like, you've got Dragon Fist Lee Sin, who's apparently part of the same thing, who's a Bruce Lee riff, which makes sense, I guess, but how is that? I guess he is a Chinese myth. But it's one of those confused skin lines that has some good stuff in there, but also a bunch of old stuff that doesn't fit in. Anyway, the best one is Lunar Revel Tahm Kench. Just because, like, he's big, fat catfish who eats stuff, and he's got a funny hat on. And it's just a really nice-looking skin. Like, he's got the Chinese coins and his little mustache hairs. It's a really nice and well put together skin, I think. It has a good look to it. It's fun. It's engaging. He looks like just big and kind of bloated and weird enough to also still be scary, like a mythological figure always kind of should be. But he has like a solid Chinese aesthetic to him, and he eats some delicious food in his recall. That's nice. My least favorite one would be, what is it called? Jade Fang Cassiopeia. Not because it's that bad, but because, again, old character model, some kind of confused aesthetics going on with, I don't know what that helmet is, what that's supposed to look like. She's wearing the bikini thing, again, because of reasons, because default sexy, but the sexy doesn't do anything for the skin, really. Like, it doesn't make her look more intimidating, it doesn't like make her look more powerful, it's just titty is there, because I guess, why not? Because we didn't want to change the character model too much, I suppose. So yeah, but they're all, like, B tier. Like, there's some good stuff in there, there's some boring stuff in there, it's fine. Right, oh, there's more super chats. Gutsby, I don't know what the currency is, but thank you very much for every single one of them. Wing of Shoe, read the description of Luna Cockmore, it's adorable. Yes, it is, I know. We can do that, we can read his description. Cockmaw, where are you? There. Lion Dance Cogmaw. It's unclear if Cockmaw even understands what a Luna Revel is, but someone seems to have painted him for it. That person has presumably been eaten and digested, but Cockmaw does look very festive. There's another one. Red Alchemist, thank you very much. Happy birthday, thank you for all the awesome videos. Thank you, that's very kind of you. My favorite NASA skin. Ooh, that's tough. Because I like Infernal a lot. Yeah, it's probably Infernal. Like, I think Infernal Nasus is probably my favorite Nasus skin. Right, what's next? Marauder. Yeah, Marauder is another F tier for me. Not because they're bad as such, they're just boring. They're like Warden. Like Warden, which is like all the way down here, is another one. And this is one of those, like, for me, they're just not interesting or good enough to, we'll deal with Warden once we get there, but for me, they're just not interesting or good enough to be in League of Legends, because it's just this. It's just armor. Whoa, armor, edges, the sword, sharp, wearing stuff. Ashe, armor. She got bow, pointy, sharp, made of metal. They're not bad. Like, the quality is fine, I guess, but they're so fucking boring. Like, there's no concept behind them. It's just what if character, but in sharp, dark fantasy armor. Is like, I don't know what to do with any of, like, I put Olaf as the best one and Ashe as the worst one, but they're both terrible in my opinion. And Warwick sucks, and the Alistar, they're just bad. Like, they're better than the old cheapest skins, as someone points out in chat. Yeah, but there's no concept. There's nothing interesting about them at all. I don't know what the point of them is. I don't know why I should care about them. Mecha Kingdoms before Mecha? No, I don't think so. Mecha comes first. Mecha, though, generally, is another series of A tier. Because Mecha is just... I love Mecha Zero Zion. Like, the beta... he turns into a train for his ultimate. He turns into a train. Which is just lovely, and he looks like a cool toy robot that I would have, like, loved to get for Christmas when I was 14. Like, because he would have, like, a voice, and he's like transform. You can remote control him and drive him around the thing. It's a very good robot skin, and I really like the mecha line, generally speaking. On the other hand, there's Mecha Rengar, which, again, is fine. Like, it looks like a cool Gundam-type kind of thing. But the whole, like, Rengar hiding in the brush... Because the whole concept of the mecha is that there's these city block-sized giant Super Sentai mecha things that, like, Pacific Rim punch giant kaiju monsters while fighting over the fate of a city, right? They're supposed to be these giant, imposing, huge, enormous battle robots. But then you have Rengar, and it's like... As far as I can tell from his splash art... He's, like, running around in, like, a normal-sized jungle, right? And so this guy is, like, the size of a person? which to me feels like it goes completely against the concept. Like, it completely goes against the concept of what the mecha was supposed to be. They were supposed to be giant, city-sized battle robots, not Iron Man suits. He's car-sized. Yeah, it's like, it's not terrible. It's not bad. It's a cool skin. It's just, I don't know what to, like, it's not that great. Mecha Kingdoms. Now, Mecha Kingdoms is one I'm a little bit unsure of, actually. Because parts of it, to me, are S tier. Like, I really like Mecha Kingdoms Jax. I really like Mecha Kingdoms Set. I think, like, having a punchy set, like, a Chinese, vaguely sort of Chinese mythology-themed set of mecha, that's a really unique... Like, that's a really unique way to do mecha, to be inspired by, rather than, like, by Japanese Sentai shows and stuff like that, and anime, to be inspired by Chinese mythology for it. On the other hand, League of Legends also has, like, a lot of Chinese mythology skins already, which is probably Tencent's fault. So it's not that unique in League of Legends, even though it's unique more broadly. And then there's stuff like, I just don't think Mecha Kingdoms Draven is good. Like, I just don't think he is. Like, I don't, with the throwing axis thing, if it could work, I guess. But for me, he just doesn't look like a mecha, really. Like, it's, no, something about it, I have a hard time describing it. Like, that's why I'm kind of uncertain about Mecha Kingdoms. Because theoretically, it feels like it should work, but Mecha Kingdoms Draven just doesn't work for me. Something about it just doesn't click. But then there's Mecha Jax, like, with the staff, and like, he looks like a fucking cool battle rope. Like, this rules, and this is more like, I think it's because it doesn't have that Chinese aesthetic. Like, Jax has this perfect, like, sort of, Kung Fu warrior monk kind of thing going on with him, where, like, yeah, he's got this Chinese aesthetic going in over it with this really unique mecha feel to it. And then Draven is like, he could just be a normal mecha. Like, he could just be a part of the normal mecha line. There's nothing there that says to me fantasy Chinese Mecha Kingdom character. It's like, eh. And that's why, like, I want Mecha Kingdoms to be S tier, but it has to go in A, because it's not as perfect as Demonic or Blood Moon. And even Blood Moon, like, it's... Anyway. Let's see. Oh, Mecha Scion is an EVA unit. Just think about it. Also, initial D vibes from Mecha Scion's alt. Yes, absolutely. Imagine if Mecha Scion, voiced by Optimus Prime, would make me feel real happy. Yeah, if they could get that voice actor to do... I mean, would suck for the voice actor who's currently doing him, but that would be awesome. What's your dream skin line? Mine's Mecha Kaiju Kha'Zix. My dream skin? I don't know. I genuinely, I can't think of that right now. I can't think of anything. Anyway, Medieval. Let's just put it in C, where it belongs immediately. Medieval is another one of those composite skin lines that's made of a bunch of stuff that just didn't fit anywhere else. And some of it is quite good. For example, like, Medieval Kled is... If he was in another line, he could drag it up to S tier. Like, that would... Because Medieval Kled is awesome. He's riding a chicken. A giant chicken, a chocobo. That's a cool skin. But it also includes stuff like King Tryndamere and Queen Ashe. Which is weird, like, which is why I think Queen Ashe and King Tryndamere aren't canonical lore skins anymore. They've been redefined as sort of medieval fantasy versions of Ashe and Tryndamere-ish. It also includes Executioner Mundo, who sucks. It includes Blacksmith Poppy, who's pretty cool. It's got Little Knight Amumu, who's kind of mediocre. Sorceress Lux, which is just not very good skin. And then there's White Mage Vhagar, who is like, oh, he's a white mage from Final Fantasy instead of being a black mage from Final Fantasy. Because if you remember, Vhagar is a black mage from Final Fantasy. That's where they got his character design. But then they made him a white mage instead. Aha! It sucks. Like, and again, Vhagar is another Caitlyn. Like, he's got a bunch of old skins that kind of just suck, because his character model is really old and clunky, and it's really hard to do good skins for it. But this is bad. This just kind of, yeah. Well. So yeah, medieval is another C tier. Like, you've got your Sir Kleds, you've got medieval Twitch, you've got Blacksmith Poppy, which are really fucking solid, and then you have stuff that isn't. Right. Odyssey goes right where it belongs immediately, because Odyssey is absolutely S tier. It's got a single kind of crummy skin in there, but mostly Odyssey is fantastic. And my favorite is Odyssey Jinx, but honestly, like Odyssey Yasuo, Odyssey Malphite, not so much Odyssey 6, perhaps, but Odyssey Kayn, they're just all fucking amazing. Like, I love this skin universe so much. I am so fucking disappointed in Riot that they created this skin line, and they created the whole narrative universe around it, like this space fantasy adventure where this group of idiot misfit morons who have a propensity to just destroy everything around them are trying to escort this Templar Sona to save the universe from, like, the abuses of literally a fucking Darkin, or in this case a Dark Star entity that has crossed over into their universe through Kayn, like, who's turned into this crazy serial killer, and Jinx is in love. Like, there's so much personality in this Odyssey skin line. I want so much more of it. And Riot didn't follow up on it. They gave us a cool game mode, and then they took it away, and then there's been nothing. Ugh. It sucks. But, oh god, I love Odyssey. Odyssey is so good. Odyssey is fantastic. Except for Galaxy Slayer Zed. I don't like Galaxy Slayer Zed. It's not... I don't think it's a great skin. I don't think it's a great skin. I've actually made an entire video about this back in the day, but basically, Galaxy Slayer Zed is this evil guy with delusions of grandeur who's using the aura, which is the gold substance thing that the Templars are protecting, to try and become ruler of the universe. But you already have such a great villain in Kayn. What you should do, if you want more villain skins for Odyssey, is to give Kayn more henchmen, like more dark creatures that serve him or something like that. Making a rival villain, a rival big bad guy for Kayn as a skin in the universe, like, from a storyline perspective, when I think about story structure and how an Odyssey, like, narrative would have to play out, this makes no fucking sense to me. And then on top of that, like, it has some really cool effects. This skin has some badass effects with, like, the gold aura that he uses as a weapon, like, moving around like these spider claws. But aesthetically, this doesn't feel like it belongs in the same universe as that. Like, you have this sort of space western semi-fantasy universe that's going on, and then you have this guy who looks like he's from the Cosmic line. Like, he looks like he's from the Cosmic line, right? He looks like he should be a Cosmic skin, or a Dark Star skin, or something along those lines. He doesn't look at all like he belongs here. So that, like, Galaxy Slayer Zed for me is a disappointment. I don't know why they did that. I don't think it was a good idea at all. But it doesn't ruin the skin line. Yeah, he's supposed to be Lord Zed from Power Rangers, but again, that just doesn't fit in at all with Odyssey, I don't think. Moving on to Omega Squad. And in Omega Squad, for the very first time, Teemo is the best skin. Omega Squad in general is an amazing skin line. Like, this is where, like I said with Commando, that modern military aesthetics are generally very boring to me. And they are. And they remain so even with Omega Squad, which has this sort of commando unit thing going on. But Omega Squad at least has these highly personalized skins. Like, each member of the Omega Squad, Fizz, Teemo, Tristana, Twitch, and Vigar, they all look like distinctly different characters. Like, they look like that band of roguish misfits who don't listen to orders and go off on their own, and, like, they've gone rogue, sir, and, like, taking down the enemy using their own methods. They have that feeling and aesthetic, and I do like the idea of taking the cutesy little yordles and turning them into, like, battle-scarred PTSD veterans fighting in some kind of vaguely futuristic Vietnam War scenario. That all fits together really well. That being said, if I had to pick a worst one, it would probably be Omega Squad Tristana, just because she looks a little bit too clean and happy. Like, where everything else, like, between Fizz, Teemo, and Twitch and Vigar, they all look like they're from this dark, terrible war, like, where they're getting traumatized, and it's like, oh, my friends are dead, and they're gonna kill the enemy for a bit. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be kind of dark and depressing and a little bit, like, gritty and edgy. And then there's Tristana's like, yeah, let's go to war, guys! Like, she just looks too happy to be there. She doesn't look like a scarred, grizzled, like, veteran warrior. She looks like she's having fun, which is like, that feels a little bit opposite of what Omega Squad should be, but it's not a bad skin, and Omega Squad in general belongs in the S tier for me. Odyssey, yes, I agree, Vujek. Or Vujek? Or is it... Oh, AUCL 2247, thank you. Happy birthday. Could I possibly bribe you into doing a cover of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? My friend loves your voice and listens to that song when dealing with anxiety. I don't... You can't bribe me right now, but maybe at some later date. So, Omen of the Dark. Omen of the Dark rules. Omen of the Dark is fucking awesome. Iron Inquisitor Kale is the best one, but they're all fucking awesome. It's the one good Nocturne skin. It's the one good Nocturne skin that there is Cursed Revenant Nocturne. Blade Queen Lysandra is maybe a little crummy, but like black skirt singed with the Plague Doctor mask and like the bleeding eyes coming like from this saint icon that he's got on his shield. Omen of the Dark rules. Mostly. Because Blade Queen Lysandra is a little... I don't like it that much, but it has this Iron Maiden thing going on. And then there's Grey Warwick, which is a good skin. Like, it's fine. But something about it just... It doesn't feel like it fits quite within this, like, heavy Catholic-inspired Inquisitor thing. Like, this is all... What's so cool to me about Iron Inquisitor is that it has this heavy Catholic inspiration, like this Catholic imagery that's all over the thing, where Grey Warwick feels a little bit more like a more generic, like dark fantasy, medieval kind of thing. Like that, I wish it had more of that, like, suffering Catholicism, blood and self-mortification thing going on. And that's kind of the same way I feel about, like, Undertaker Yorick and Blade Queen Lysandra, is that, like, I wish they had a little bit more of that, of this gorgeous religious iconography taped over them. But again, Omen of the Dark is another S tier for me as a whole. Because it, oh god, it's good. Really like it. Oh yeah, Spectral Fiddlesticks is part of Omen of the Dark as well. And, like, because the new Fiddlesticks reorg is so fucking good, then, yeah. Oh, AUCL, that's fair. Wish I could stick around, but I have work. Good luck with work. On a Sunday? Really? Oh, man, that sucks. Hope you have fun. Look forward to catching the VOD. I hope you have fun as well. So, Pentakill. Pentakill would probably have been B tier a while ago, because a lot of the champions that are in Pentakill really rather needed reworks. And I want to put Pentakill in S tier, but there's a reason why it can only go in A. And that reason is called Mordekaiser. Can you tell why? Can you see from this image, can you see why Mordekaiser drags Pentakill down? Just gonna give you a second to notice it. It's something very important that Mordekaiser is holding. He doesn't have a fucking guitar. Pentakill Mordekaiser, in his in-game model, doesn't have his fucking axe. He doesn't have his guitar. I can't... I don't know why he doesn't have the guitar. He's supposed to be the guitarist of the band. That's the whole point. He's the one who shreds. And I know the guitar in the splash art is a little bit... It's only got 4 strings on it for whatever fucking reason. But this is a mace. Pentakill Mordekaiser in-game carries around a big fiery mace that doesn't look anything like his... I can't forgive that. Like, it... No! How do you do that? How do you have a rock band skin line and you don't give them a guitar? You can't... No! No! Fucking hell! Like, that just... Oh, my God. No, dumb, stupid, unplayable. I hate it. So they have to be A tier. But Slash Yorick rules. He has his fucking bass guitar, by the way. He's got his. They remembered that. But Slash Yorick rules. Like, it's fucking cool. I also like Pentakill Sona because she's hot. And Pentakill Karthus is great, but I just can't... I can't forgive that. I can't forgive it. The guitar! For a rock band! For a rock band! God damn it. Anyway, moving on before I get angry. Pool party. Right. Pool party. Like, pool party for me is C tier because I think it's boring. That's kind of like, pool party is popular, and I completely understand why. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like Caitlyn, Draven, Fiora, Gangplank, Graves, Heimerdinger, Jarvan, Lee Sin, Leona, Lulu, Misfortune, Orianna, Rek'Sai, Renekton, Syndra, Talia, Taric, Sack, Six, Zoe, and Mundo, and Singed all have pool party skins. It's a popular line. I completely understand why people love it. I think it's boring. It's, oh, they're wearing swimsuits and stuff. I like that pool party Graves exists. I like that there's some man candy for the gay dudes and the ladies. Like that they take care to also make it like an equal opportunity sexy skin line and stuff. I just think pool party is generally boring. But the best one is pool party Renekton. He's the best one. A crocodile that's also a lifeguard. That's fucking hilarious on the face of it. I love that. It's a great skin. Pool party Renekton is good. But the line itself is generally kind of boring. As for the worst one, Pool Party Draven, for the sole reason that, what the fuck, like, why aren't his weapons pool noodles? They clearly aren't. Like, they're clearly sharp still. They're clearly made of, like, hard plastic or something. Why aren't they pool noodles? Like, he just wears this life vest, which, by the way, why would Draven wear a life vest? Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's just boring. So Pool Party for me is a C tier. It's not terrible, it's just boring. Pentakill Kale thoughts. It's my personal favorite. Pentakill Kale is hot. I like Pentakill Kale. I love the songs on the latest album where they have, like, where they get a female vocalist in over it, because that really provides a lot of extra texture to the sound. And Pentakill Kale rules, definitely. Right, where are we now? We're getting there. We're getting there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 24, 25 skin lines left to go before we're done with this stream. So, Prehistoric Hunters. Right. This is another one of the weirder skin lines because it's made up of a bunch of stuff that was kinda smashed together a little bit randomly. In the Prehistoric Hunters line, you will find Boneclaw Shyvana, Prehistoric Anivia, Prehistoric Cho'Gath, and Prehistoric Renekton, but you also get Beast Hunter, Draven, Sejuani, and Tryndamere. Now, the Beast Hunters are basically Monster Hunter skins. And in this one, Draven gets to be the best one, by the way. They're basically Monster Hunter skins. Like, they're explicitly, very openly and nakedly ripping off Monster Hunter here. Like, that's very much what the skin line is supposed to be, which I respect. And I like Prehistoric Hunter Draven. I think he has a pretty cool look. I think it works well with the bone axis. He looks like a Monster Hunter character, like, for real. And I completely respect that. But then on the other hand, you also have the actual prehistoric skins in there, like Prehistoric Cho'Gath, Renekton, and Anivia, that are more like a mythologized dinosaur set of skins that sort of don't really fit in with the Monster Hunter idea. For me, like, it's an awkward fit. But the prehistoric skins are generally fine. The worst skin of the Prehistoric Hunters group is Boneclaw Shyvana. Because here the thing goes completely fucking off the rails as a skin concept. She doesn't look like a Monster Hunter character at all. Like, she doesn't look like she belongs in Monster Hunter. She doesn't look like she belongs with Prehistoric Anivia, Cho'Gath, and Renekton. She just looks like, I don't know, she like a World of Warcraft character, vaguely. It's like she's got bones on her hands and like a head dress and her titty out, because of course she's got her titty out. Why wouldn't they? I don't... This one is confused and doesn't fit in with the rest of the skin line at all. And Shyvana desperately needs an update. So, but Prehistoric Hunters, because the Monster Hunter skins are really good and the Prehistoric ones are fine, that's another one that goes in the B tier for me. Which leads us on to Project, which is much like Eclipse, which has both the Cosmic and the Darkstar skin lines in it. Project also contains both the Program and the Project skins. So we've got Program Camille, LeBlanc, Lysandra, Nami, and Soraka, but also Project Irelia, Kaliash, Echo, Fiora, Jin, Jinx, Katarina, Leona, Lucian, Pike, Vayne, Vi, Warwick, Yasuo, Sid, and Yi. And also, weirdly, for some fucking reason, I Blitzcrank. I Blitzcrank is part of the Project universe. I Blitzcrank is a skin that was originally designed to promote the release of League of Legends on MacBooks. Like it was ported to iOS, to Apple's operating systems. That's the whole point of Blitzcrank. That's why he looks that way. So kind of shoehorning him into the Program line in the Project universe doesn't make a fuck ton of sense to me at all. And consequently, he's the worst skin in the line. Like, because, like, this doesn't make even a little bit of sense to me whatsoever. On the other hand, Project Jin fucking rules. I really, really, really like Project. He's got that modern RoboCop Terminator vibe to him, like this unstoppable gun-firing killing machine that just kind of walks towards you on the street, dodges all your bullets without even trying, and then shoots you in the face. Project Jin is a badass character skin. Like, there's some decent Project skins, there's some pretty bad ones as well. I've never been very... Project got overplayed. Like, there's too many fucking Project skins. Like, I don't know why Project Ash exists, for example. I don't feel like there's much of a reason to have Project Echo, Project Jinx, Project Katarina, of all things. Like, there's too many of them, and they're way too similar to each other, a lot of them. Like, you have Project Fiora, you don't need Project Katarina. Project Pike is also, like, there's just too many. It's overplayed. So the Project skin line as a whole is one I'm putting in B tier. If it was more focused, if it had fewer skins and a stronger storyline, if they weren't such a bunch of skins that all look exactly the fucking same, I'd probably be more generous to it. But Project, for me, just kind of, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. There's some good skins in there. It's cool, I guess. It's got some cool cinematics, but the Project line is overplayed. There's too much of it, and not enough of it is properly differentiated from itself. Right, Pulsefire. So Pulsefire, I didn't know this, but Pulsefire actually includes Praetorian, Graves, and Fiddlesticks. They're supposed to be sort of these mechanical time-traveling monster robots that jump into timelines that are being fractured by too much time travel and do bad stuff. They kill people, destroy the world, I don't know, something along those lines. So Pulsefire has actually had a bit of an upgrade in recent times. Michael Yi Chao, who's known as Riot Please, wrote a fantastic storyline with Ezreal, sort of exploring and explaining some of the concepts behind Pulsefire as a whole, that brings it up into an A tier for me. I would have put it in B tier previously, but the storylines around it have started to coalesce and make the skin line make more sense. That Ezreal is this rogue time traveler who jumps around in time and doesn't care about what he does and is like a little bit too devil-may-care, but it has this time loop storyline going on where eventually he's going to figure out that, oh shit, I've been doing some bad stuff that I need to take responsibility for and fix. And then he joins the Pulsefire Enforcers, which are people like Caitlyn and Lucian, and helps them fight the Praetorians. Like, there's a storyline there that makes sense to me. That's interesting. And so for that reason, like, I'm willing to give that a pass. And the best Pulsefire skin is Caitlyn. That's right, Caitlyn has a good skin. She has one. There is a good Caitlyn skin, and that's partly because they rebuilt her entire character model in order to create it, like, so she doesn't have that crappy old character model running around anymore. Pulsefire Caitlyn rules. Like, that's a really cool version of Caitlyn. Like, because it takes advantage of Caitlyn is already a law enforcement officer, right? She's already the sheriff of Piltover. So we take that concept of Caitlyn as this humorless law enforcement officer for Piltover and say, okay, what if she was a humorless law enforcement officer for time, and give her a cool pulsefire rifle that she can ride around like a little jet bike? And that's a good Caitlyn skin. That's a rad one. I really like that. On the other side of the scale, I'm not much of a fan of Pulsefire Shen. Mostly because it's like, he's supposed to be this evil time-traveling warlord dude. Which, like, okay. Okay. But I don't, in terms of the rest of the Pulsefire universe, that makes no fucking sense to me. Like, he doesn't, as a character in Pulsefire, he doesn't make sense. And while the skin is cool and all, like, with the red and the blue and the brown and the blue and the gold on the thing and the orange on the hilt of the sword, color-wise, it's not that well put together. Aesthetically, it's like, he looks cool, but I just don't think he fits in very much. And again, Pulsefire, still an A-tier skin line, but Pulsefire Shen doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, Pulsefire Twisted Fate, I'm not that fond of either, but yeah. Right, Rift Quest. Straight to an A for me. And specifically, the reason why Rift Quest gets an A, and this is the only reason why, there's literally no other reason, it's because of this. It's because look at Twitch, he's so cute! Look at Twitch! Twitch is good. Oh, he's so adorable. Twitch Shadowfoot, I love you. I love you! Look at this adorable, cute little shithead. Oh, he's good. He's a good thing and I love him. I'm glad he exists. He makes the world a better place. Now, Rift Quest also has some kind of, like, Barbarian Scion kind of sucks a little bit. Demolisher Nunu and Willemp are not one of Nunu and Willemp's best skins. But then you have, like, all the other stuff like Varus Swiftbolt and Braum Lionheart and Gragas Caskbreaker, who have these classic D&D fantasy hero things going on. It's really lovely. Tarek Lumen Shield is a lot of fun. Talon Blackwood looks good as a little elf assassin dude. Lord Mordekaiser makes sense as like a villain of the piece. They even found a good place for Rugged Garen to go into. Like, he's one of those skins that had to be shoehorned in awkwardly somewhere. And so they shoehorned him in awkwardly to the Rift Quest skin line, and I approve of that because he fits in there. So yeah, Rift Quest is good. I like Rift Quest a lot. There's so many good skins in there, but it's mostly Twitch. Look at Twitch. He's so cute. I love him. I love him so much. He's so good. The worst one is Vygar Greybeard. He's nominally supposed to be the villain of the piece, like, because Rift Quest is supposed to be essentially a D&D campaign being played by League of Legends champions, sorta, kinda, vaguely. And Vygar Greybeard, according to the lore, is supposed to be like the ultimate villain of the thing. He's supposed to be like, he's helping the party at first, but then he turns out to be the secret villain all along. But he's just Gandalf. Like, that's literally, he's Gandalf. He's riding on an eagle, he's got the wooden staff and the grey beard and the lion. He's Gandalf. He's a Gandalf costume. And it's a little boring. But Rift Quest rules. I like Rift Quest. And also, as people are pointing out in chat, there has never been a better name for a skin than Bard Bard. Bard Bard. Let's see. Oh, there's some super chats. Please Rift Quest high so one Tarek skin line is okay. I got you, boo. I got you. Kluki. Yeah, Pentacle Mordekaiser is bad. He doesn't even ult in a metal concert. I mean, come on. Yeah. This is true. He could really use some updates. Sandra Moonshadow. Project Leona has no boot plate, though. Yeah, that's one of the good things about Project Leona. It's got a nice armor design. Right then. And then we have the Riot skins. They go to F. First of all, because, as I've said previously, all cops are bastards. But also just because they're bad. Like, Riot Graves is just... Oh, it's Graves and Riot. I don't know why this is not part of the Cops and Robbers skin line, by the way. I guess it's because they're called Riot. But just because, like... Why would you, as a company, identify yourself with the people who are tasked with putting down the riot? That's, like, Riot Games, the whole point of being named Riot Games is surely that you're on the side of the rioters, that you're making chaos, you're doing crazy shit, right? Like, you're the ones creating the riot, right? So why the fuck would you identify with the jackbooted thug who fucking runs around in riot gear and shoots people with a giant gun. Like, yeah. And on top of that, they're just boring. Like, the K9 Nasus Riot, like Riot Kale is kind of okay. Because at least she has some effects on her. But, like, Riot Blitzcrank, Riot Graves, K9 Nasus, Riot Squad Singed, they all suck. Like, they're all just boring-ass skins. And fucking all cops are bastards. The only good Riot skin is Riot Girl Tristana, because she has absolutely fuck all to do with cops and with the weird decision to identify with the Riot Police. Because she's like a cutesy girl in a cosplay doing a t-shirt cannon at some esports event, which is good. Like, she's shooting merch at people. That's lovely, and it's cute, and it's like, but they all suck. Fuck them. I don't like this. I don't like that skin line. Even if I wasn't predisposed to not be fond of cops, then the skin line would still not be great. Bard the Bard. Yes, Fightful. Whiteful Fro Pressling. So, Road Warrior. Now, Road Warrior is made up mostly of like, older skins that got kind of, like, merged into a new and slightly cohesive skin line. That's sort of based around, like, Badlands Baron Rumble is like a version of Immortan Joe from the Mad Max Fury Road movie. And then you have characters like Baron von Weigar and Junkyard Trundle, who are sort of, it's this Mad Max-ish Road Warrior universe kind of thing. You've also got the champions like Apocalyptic Brand, who kind of vaguely doesn't fit in there. For me, it's a C-tier skin line, because it's good. It's fine. There's some fine skins in there. I don't mind them, but it's also, as far as a Mad Max aesthetic goes, I think they could have done a lot better. My favorite one is Hyena Warwick, just because he's got a giant engine on his back that shoots out flames when he runs, which is such a... That's the correct Mad Max thing. Like, that's the Mad Max aesthetic. Just, like, strap a V8 on it. Fuck it, let's go. Just doesn't do anything. Just strap a V8 on him and watch him run. That's a cool way to do that. I like Badland Baron's Rumble as well. And the worst one is probably going to be Blast Zone Heimerdinger, because he's so clearly not supposed to be there. Like, he's so clearly not really supposed to be a part of that skin line. It's just Heimerdinger with stuff that's blown up in his face. That's all the skin is supposed to be, but they tried to shoehorn him into the Mad Max storyline, and it doesn't work. But it's a C-tier skin line. It's fine. Now, Silver Age is an odd skin line, because Silver Age includes Augmented Singe, Bioforge Darius, Chemtech Tryndamere, Cryocore Brand, Feral Warwick, Infiltrator Irelia, Phoenix Quinn, of all characters, Super Kennen and Super Teemo, and Superb Villain Vigar, which is an odd mix of characters to say the least, and sort of the concept of the skin line, sort of, is that they're all kinda supposed to be comic book heroes or villains ish. Specifically, I think with Cryocore Brand, for example, which I think just started out as like a freaking palette swap for Brand, is supposed to be like a Mr. Freeze kind of character. And like Chemtech Tryndamere and Bioforge Darius and Augmented Singe are supposed to be like Bane villains, along with like Feral Warwick. And then there's Infiltrator Irelia, who just like a Batwoman, Catwoman, Batgirl kind of thing. But then there's Phoenix Quinn, who I don't know how the fuck she fits in with any of that anywhere. She just, like, this is not a superhero aesthetic. It just isn't. Like, it's a weird skin line, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, the best one is probably Augmented Singed, because if you're gonna do a Bane villain, this is just Bane. Like, this is just Bane from Batman, but he's in League of Legends now. And I guess that works. And I wanted the worst one of the line to be Super Teemo, because Super Teemo sucks. But it's Quinn. Like, it's not because it's a bad skin, but because it doesn't fit in. Like, this isn't a superhero aesthetic. It just isn't. It doesn't fit into the skin line at all. Like, it makes no sense. It's like Mordekaiser. It's like Pentakill Mordekaiser not having his guitar. It's such a... Why is this? I don't know. But Silver Age for me is another, like... I can't put it in F tier because there's some decent-ish skins in there, but as a skin line, it sucks. Like, it makes no goddamn sense, and I don't like it. So, where are we now? Snowdown! Yes, another popular skin line. Or, well, I say popular. It is. Like, it kind of is, because Snowdown includes both Snow Day, Snowdown Showdown, and Winter Wonder. It's one of the biggest skin lines in the entire game. Because this is where Frostblade Aurelia also hangs out. She's not Glacial, she's Winter Wonder for some reason. But yeah, it's Snow Day Bard, Gnar, Graves, Malzahar, Sinch, Syndra, and Six, and then we have Ambitious Elf Jinx, Vigar, Candy Cane Misfortune, Earnest Elf Tristana, Festive Maokai, Happy Elf Teemo, Mistletoe LeBlanc, Nut Krako, Old Saint Cillian, Regifted Amumu, Reindeer Cockmoth, Santa Brom, Santa Draven, Santa Gragas, Silent Knight, Sona, Slaybell, Katarina, Snow Bunny, Nidalee, Snow Merdinger, Workshop, Nunu and Willem, Frostfire, Frostblade Aurelia, Frostfire, Annie, Frozen Prince Mundo, Ice King Twitch, Pora, Rida, Sejuani, Snowfawn, Poppy, Snowman, Yi, Snowstorm Sivir, Winter Wonder Kama, Winter Wonder Lulu, Winter Wonder Nico, Winter Wonder Oriana, and Winter Wonder Soraka. That's a lot of skins, and apparently they are all categorized under Snowdown somehow. So that's weird, and that puts Snowdown firmly in a B tier, because it's got some great skins, and it's got some absolutely fucking terrible ones, because it has so fucking many of them. And the terrible one is obviously Teemo, again. Teemo's bad, and like, especially his freaking elf Teemo's, like, how is this even supposed... Even an American elf. Americans' Christmas elves will look weird anyway, but even as for that, this is a bad skin that doesn't look Christmas themed. He doesn't look like an elf. He doesn't look like... He's wearing a hat. And, bad skin. Bad skin, and I don't like it. On the other hand, though, it has some very good skins. I remember when this skin was released. I remember being on the timeline on Twitter when people got a look at Braum for the first time, at Santa Braum. I remember the thirst bomb that went off on... I remember, like, people were horny on Maine that day, I tell ya what. People, like, they want to slay these bells. They want to knock boots with the big boy. Yeah, it's the jingle bells in the town tonight. People were fucking horny for Santa Braum, like, let me tell ya. And I can't disagree. Like, this is not what I'm into, but I can see that this is extremely hot and sexy for people who are into that kind of thing. And I think, like, there's a space for, like, Santa baby skins, like, for sexy Christmas skins. I think there should be a spot for that in League of Legends, and Braum delivers that in spades. Pity that Santa Draven looks so fucking awful, but, you know, that's me. Deer Fawn Poppy is triple S tier, don't at me. Deer Fawn Poppy is pretty good. So, here we get to Spirit Blossom, the newest skin line in League of Legends. And I'm a little unsure of it. Like, because I still don't have my feelings settled on Spirit Blossom, because there's some good stuff in there. Like, I really like Spirit Blossom Thresh. Talking about Thirst, by the way, people were horny for Thresh that night when he came out too as well. And I like the concept that they are, like, that they're canonical, essentially. Like, not that they're canonical to the champions, but that they're canonical parts of Ionia's lore. That these spirits exist. Even if Spirit Blossom Thresh isn't Thresh, it's still that demon that Thresh represents is still canonical to the game. I really like that. So for now, I'm going to call it S tier, because there's a lot of good stuff. Like, Spirit Blossom Cassiopeia is fucking amazing. I love Spirit Blossom Cassiopeia. Although the best one is definitely Spirit Blossom Kindred. Like, that Ghibli-style wolf, like that anime wolf thing that they've got going on with the mask, with the cool outfit, and they keep Kindred masked, which I like, even though we know it's a cute anime girl underneath. Very, very cool version. The worst one, although it's fine, it's still a decent skin, is Spirit Blossom Riven. Mostly because it's like, Riven has like 12 of these skins already. Like 12 skins where she looks pretty much exactly fucking like this. At least it feels that way. I haven't counted. So like, it's the least interesting one, but it's not bad. It's fine. And Spirit Blossom is currently, I'll call it an S tier. And maybe we move it down to A or B if we do this again and then my feelings have changed. But for the moment, that's where Spirit Blossom gets to live. And then there's Star Guardian. I want to put Star Guardian in S tier. I really, really do. Because I love Star Guardian as a concept. I love so much of what it is. But not quite. Like, Riot has made some missteps with Star Guardian that I just don't like. And we'll get into that. But the best Star Guardian skin is and remains still Star Guardian Lux. In my opinion, anyway. Like, I can definitely see an argument for Star Guardian Nico or Star Guardian Ari or whichever one you happen to be a fan of. But for me, it's the originator, and it's still the best version of it. Like, you have this utterly pink, very feminine, which I like about it. Like, I like that it's unapologetically, openly, and obviously feminine about it. That it doesn't try to be cool, like anime cool, which usually means just making things more edgy and kind of like more appealing to male otaku sensibilities, let's put it that way. I like that it's openly and obviously feminine, that it leans very, very hard into the Sailor Moon aesthetic, that it really just is earnestly and honestly excited for being exactly what it is, which is magical girl stuff. I like that. I think that's cool. I still think Star Guardian Lux is the best one. Star Guardian Poppy rules as well. Like, I really like Star Guardian Poppy as a whole concept. I really like Star Guardian Janna as well. But Lux, to me, is still the best one. The least good one is Ezreal. And it's not because the skin is bad. It's not because it's Ezreal, and I kind of don't like Ezreal that much because he's overplayed. It's not just that. It's because this is otaku shit. Like, this is leaning into the otaku aesthetic. Star Guardian Ezreal should be like a heartthrob for the late... Like, he should be the very handsome, very cute, very, like, gorgeous-looking anime fuckboy that flirts with all the girls and kind of gets... Like, but this is just... He's just Ezreal in, like, a suit. Like, really? That's the bet? You had all of Magical Girl anime to go with? You couldn't go with a tuxedo mask? You couldn't do something more interesting than just, oh yeah, white suit, and then he's got some blue in his hair? So, this is so boring. It's so flat and boring compared to, like, even compared to the other Star Guardians that he's on a team with, which are like Star Guardian Misfortune, who I think was not the best idea, or like Star Guardian Ari. Like, even compared to them, he just doesn't look interesting. He doesn't have much of a personality to him, which is like, yeah. And that's the other thing that holds Star Guardian back, is kind of the same thing as Project. They diluted it. They made way too many skins without really expanding on them. I'm baffled. I am so fucking baffled that the first thing Riot did when they released the second batch of Star Guardians, which is like Lux, Lulu, Jinx, and Janna, I don't understand why the first thing they did wasn't to get in touch with a manga author, like a proper, actual Japanese comics creator, and say, hey, do you want to make the Star Guardian manga for us? Like, we'll give you script advisement and stuff, like, but you make the actual thing. And then, like, if that thing takes off and becomes popular, then transition. Like, I don't know why they didn't immediately, when Star Guardian got popular, embrace the popularity and start creating extended universe media around it. Except I do know why. I do know why, and it's because of the way Riot is as a company. Let me tell you something about how skins work at Riot Games, and how publishing in general works at Riot Games. Keeping in mind, most of my information is secondhand. Like, it's not stuff I've experienced directly. But there are people at Riot Games right now who are desperate, like, who are just fucking desperate to tell Star Guardian stories. They want to tell more stories, they want to write more stories, they want to make more animated shorts, they want to make more comics, and they've been agitating for it, they've been arguing for it relentlessly for years. And nothing ever comes of it. Do you know why? Because Riot Games, the company, will not greenlight the funds or the publishing space for more skin-related stuff, for like animated shorts, for comics, for tie-in merchandise, for anything, unless it accompanies the launch of a new skin line. Like, unless there's new skins that are coming along with it, you can't get approved for a fucking jack shit when it comes to Star Guardians. Riot won't do it. They, like, if anything new Star Guardians is coming out, it's because they want to sell skins alongside it, and that's part of the business. Like, I've always felt with Riot that, like, their business model is fair. Like, you have a free-to-play game, you have cosmetics that you pay for, fair enough. Like, that's okay. They haven't been as awful as someone like your EAs or whatever, but I am relentlessly disappointed that Riot Games consistently shows that they will not expand on their expanded universe unless it sells skins. It's so dumb, because having the expanded merchandise universe stuff would sell skins, you morons! It doesn't have to be a direct promotional relation. Anyway, that's a whole rant that doesn't belong here, but that's why they released the first set of Star Guardians, and then the next time we saw anything related to them, any stories, any merch, anything, it had to come along with a full 5-member skin lineup of Ahri, Ezreal, Misfortune, and Soraka and Syndra for Star Guardian Season 2, and it's why, for Star Guardian Season 3, they introduced even more fucking skins, just so they can tell a little bit more of the story. And from a narrative perspective, what that does is it means that in the Star Guardian lore, like in the lore that surrounds Star Guardian in the Star Guardian universe, Janna, Jinx, Lulu, Lux, and Poppy are fucking irrelevant now. They don't matter anymore. Everything's about Ahri's story, and Nico, and Rakan, and Saya, and, like, Star Guardian Zoe. And Star Guardian Zoe rules! It's a fucking amazing villain skin for a magical girl storyline. But we should have had time to have some stories about Janna, Jinx, Lulu, and Lux that would bring them in so that they could be relevant for the like, it's just such a fucking mismanagement of what could have been a fantastic series of storylines. Anyway, I have ranted about this for like 20 minutes. I'm gonna stop. We're done. Okay. Where are we? Right. My heart. There are no skins. Give me your clothes, Lilia. Yeah, I should really play through the Spirit Blossom stuff. Don Diptera, only donating because you pressured us to. Just kidding, love the content and hope you have a great birthday. Again, please don't feel... I know you're joking, but please don't feel pressured. Happy birthday, sir, from Real KJverse, thank you. Val Purchase, $5. Loving Omen and Spirit Blossom in S tier. Wish the other Star Guardian skins match the quality of Lux's. Also, happy birthday, Sky, and love you. Thank you very much. Okay. What was I doing? Right, I was ranting about Star Guardians. Leaving that behind for now. I have so many very negative feelings about how Riot have handled that skin line. Moving on to Steel Valkyries. Now, Steel Valkyries is Dread Nova Darius and Gangplank, along with Aetherwing Kayle, Blade Mistress Morgana, Bullet Angel Kai'Sa, and Gun Goddess Misfortune. You may remember that Gun Goddess Misfortune is probably the worst received legendary ultimate skin that Riot have ever put out, which I thought was kind of unfair. I still think the reaction to it was kind of unfair. I think it's a great skin. And I think it's the best one out of the line. Even though, as an ultimate skin, I can definitely see the argument that they could have done more with it. But I quite like it. Like, I still like Gun Goddess Misfortune. I love her musical theme. I like that we have another cool sci-fi universe with a badass lady gunslinger at the front of it. Very cool. On the other hand, Blade Mistress Morgana is a little bit more... It's another one, a case of those, like, Blade Mistress Morgana was never designed for the Steel Valkyrie universe. She was never designed for this, like, sci-fi universe where it's Misfortune and Gangplank battling it out as space pirates rather than as, like, water pirates. Blade Mistress Morgana was never designed for that. She was retconned into it along with her rework, I believe, and she doesn't fit it. Like, she doesn't fit into the skin line. That's the primary reason why she's the worst of them. But Steel Valkyrie still generally is an A-tier skin line for me. Because, like, there's a bunch of good stuff in there, even if like, I wish they did more with it. I need water. Getting towards the end now. Boy. Right. Storybook. Now, Storybook, I just gotta put that in C immediately, because Storybook is another one of those skin lines, kind of like High Society, that was vaguely sort of awkwardly stitched together from a bunch of skins that were already in the game, but didn't really have a skin line that they fit into. So, Storybook includes Annie in Wonderland, Big Bad Warwick, Caterpillar Cogmaw, Count Vladimir, Mad Hatter Shaco, and Red Riding Annie. So it's like a bunch of fairy tales, but it also includes Ace of Spades Ezreal, Jack of Hearts Twisted Fate, King of Clubs Mordekaiser, Queen of Diamonds Syndra, and Wild Card Shaco. And it's a mess. Like, it's a big bucket that Riot was, let's just shove a bunch of skins in there so that they have somewhere to fit, and then we don't have to worry about it. And the only reason why it doesn't go in F along with High Society, which is equally messy, is because the Ace of Spades skin line, the high stakes Ace of Spades skin line, I really quite like it. Like, I really think it's quite good. And because it has, and this is where a rework really saved the skin line from the dumpster bucket for me, it has Big Bad Warwick. And Big Bad Warwick is a fucking delight. Like, yes, it's a complete joke skin, but it's a joke that they've committed to. It's a joke that's well told, and I think this is funny. Like, maybe I'm alone in that, but this to me is just, yes. Yes, like, fucking Warwick with this big, all the better to see you with, dear. I like that. Like, that's a well-executed joke, unlike something like Meowkai. On the other side of the coin, though, we have Marquis Vladimir, and his skin splash is, like, fine. The splash is okay. Like, I don't know, again, why wasn't he in fucking high, like, Vladimir has so many terrible skins. But the thing that makes this just truly the worst skin of the line is fucking ew. Like, that face, look at his splash art. Look at his character model. Look at his splash art. Look at his character model. What the fuck happened? But yeah, it's Vladimir. His model is old. His character design is bad, generally speaking. And he doesn't have any good skins, and his hairstyle looks stupid, and it ends up being a pretty bad skin. But yeah, Storybook is saved by a few outstanding members, and for having the whole Ace of Spades, like, having the whole card suit-themed high-stakes cards, which are all pretty high quality. I'll say, okay, fair enough, but my god, give these characters some rework so that their skin lines can look less fucking awful. So, Sugar Rush, that's another one in the C tier for me. Well, actually, with the Fiddlesticks rework, I can probably bump it up to a B, because Dark Candy Fiddlesticks is fantastic. But, like, we have Lollipoppy in there, who even after the rework is kind of awful. And we have stuff like, what's she called? Dark Candy Bittersweet Lulu. Who's like, I don't like her. I don't like this skin. For me, it doesn't feel like she has this Raggedy Ann doll thing, toy box style going on. And she's creepy as hell, which is fine, but I don't, for some reason, Bittersweet Lulu has just always been a complete non-starter for me. There's something too try-hardy about it. I don't know. I do like Candy King Ivern, though. Candy King Ivern rules, and I don't know why people are so freaked out by him. I think he's lovely and wonderful, and I want him to come to my birthday party. Please don't come to my birthday party. But yeah, it's Dark Candy Fiddlesticks along with Sugar Rush Braum, who's a delight, and Sugar Rush Evelyn, who's hot. It gets it up to a B. But I don't know. There's not a lot to say about the skin line, I don't think. So, Super Galaxy. This is another skin line that, like, I'm gonna put it in an A tier because I really like it, but it's one of those that that feels a little bit like they did too much. Like, they got a little bit too excited about it, and they put something in it that really didn't belong there. Like, Super Galaxy Kindred, for me, is a misfire. Because, like, no, like, yes, sleek, sort of cyber anime aesthetics, kind of, and I get the idea of having Wolf be, like, a mecha that Kindred controls, but no, like, this feels confused and it doesn't fit for me at all. Like, I can see the idea behind it, but the execution just is lacking. Like, Super Galaxy Rumble rules. Like, I love the Gurren, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann aesthetic that they've got going on with him, and I really like Super Galaxy Nar, because that's the kind of thing that feels like that would be in the anime. I love the concept of having Nar run around in his normal form and then transform into a giant robot when he gets angry. And that's where the mecha aspect comes in, like where the anime mecha stuff comes into it. I love his cute little sunglasses. It's a great skin. But it feels like one of those like where they could have gone really wrong by releasing 10 more skins that just don't fit in. I'm not so fond of Super Galaxy Shyvana either. Like, it feels a little bit like with Nidalee and Kindred and Shyvana, they try to apply the skin line too broadly to things that it just did not fit at all. It just didn't fit them. And it's a bit of a bother, but yeah, it is what it is. Oh, shit. No, fuck. No, no. Ah! No. No. I closed the window. Fucking hell. No. Oh, shit. It saved it. It saved it. Oh, it saved it. Oh, thank God. It saved it. It saved it. Oh, God. I accidentally clicked the... Oh, God. Saved. Everything saved. It was cached. It cached it. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Oh, gave me a fucking heart attack. Oh, dear. Ah. Whew. I need some water. Oi. Use Alt-Tab. Yes. Yes, I know. I know. Alt-Tab. Go away, Ezreal, you stupid face. Whew. Okay, there was some, Warring Kingdoms better be S tier. We'll see. Why hasn't Riot made Candy Cane skin yet? Yeah, I mean, it's because the candy skins aren't popular. Sugar Rush has not been a popular skin line, so they don't want to bother adding more to it. Let's see, I only donate because of your voice, not your birthday, but happy birthday, Sky, and thanks for the contents. You're welcome, David Woe. Oh, Lord. Oh, that nearly went very wrong. Anyway, Toy Box. That's a solid B tier skin line for me. So, Toy Box includes Dino Gnar, Grungy Nunu and Willump, Moo Cow Alistair, Pugmaw, Ragdoll Puppy, Rennek Toy, Zone Chaos Oriana, and Toy Soldier Gangplank. So it's like, it's a pretty it's another skin line that was never really supposed to include all the skins that's in there. Like Grungy Nunu and Willump was never a Toy Box kind of skin before the rework, but has been kind of stitched together from a lot of disparate elements. But unlike a lot of the other skin lines that were created this way, Toy Box really works for me. I think Dino Gnar and Grungy Nunu and Willump make a fantastic companion set of characters. I like Pugmaw. I know a lot of people don't, but I really like Pugmaw. Rennek Toy and so on. Like it's got a really nice like Toy Story aesthetic to it that I really enjoy, but it's still a B tier for me because it's not that original, but I really do like it. And my favorite one of them all is Rennek Toy, just because he looks like, he genuinely truly looks like an action figure that you could go down to the store and buy. Like it's just a really well executed version of exactly what it's supposed to be. It looks like a toy that I would have loved to own when I was a kid. Which I think is wonderful. On the downside, Zone Chaos Oriana. Now, I agree with chat. Someone in chat says that Zone Chaos has so much potential, and I agree with that. Like, I think there's a lot of potential in it, but right now, it's like, it looks like a bunch of Tim Burton wank. Like, it looks like he jerked off on a page, and this is what came out. Like, there's some good ideas in having the ball be like a literal sewing ball, like a needle ball. And, like, I like the sort of... it has this, like, the 90s, early 2000s goth scene kid punk aesthetic to it that could turn out to be really cool if they actually executed on it better. But the way it looks now is, like, it just looks like a fucking mess. Like, it doesn't look like anything. It's just a bunch of random colors and stripy patterns and shit that are just kind of randomly arranged together into a character. And it doesn't come together at all. It looks kind of crappy, frankly. So yeah, let's see. What's next? Trick or Treat. Yes. So Trick or Treat is another unusual skin line. It's quite big. It includes Bewitching Janna, Bewitching Misfortune, Bewitching Morgana, Nidalee, Tristana. It includes Count Cassidy, Count Cledula, of all things, Frankentipper's Annie, Haunted Maokai, Haunted Syra, Haunting Nocturne, Headless Hecarim, Kitty Cat Katarina, Mundo Mundo, Nosferatu Vladimir, Bewitching Misfortune Prestige Edition, Pumpkinhead Fiddlesticks, Ravenborn LeBlanc, Trick or Treat Echo, Underworld Twisted Fate, and Witch's Brew Blitzcrank. And so it's a bit confused because characters like Haunted Maokai and Haunted Syra are pretty serious. Like, they're actually, like, Haunted Syra is actually supposed to be an old cemetery zombie racing, terrible plant lady ghost thing. Haunted Maokai is supposed to be taken seriously as a terrible thing, but then you also have, like, Bewitching Nidalee, who's a stripper skin. Like, it's a sexy Halloween costume kind of skin. You have these fun Halloween witches trick-or-treat thing, kind of mucking it up side by side with stuff like Ravenborn LeBlanc or like Count Cassidin, which are things that are supposed to be taken altogether more seriously, that aren't really Halloween costumes. So as a skin line, it's another one of those muddled, kind of confused things that doesn't make a lot of sense as a skin line, but has some perfectly decent skins in it. And by the way, I don't know what the fuck is up with Bewitching Nidalee, because, like, every single Nidalee skin that she has otherwise, I believe, every single one, Nidalee is supposed to be vaguely Asian subcontinent, like the Indian subcontinent, vaguely South Asian, is, in terms of her ethnicity, seems to be where Riot is consistently targeting her. Except Bewitching Nidalee, who is, like, the whitest white girl. And it's such a weird, like, because it's just that skin. All of the other skins, even on the model viewer, still keep Nidalee's same skin color. But Bewitching Nidalee, they whitewash for... it's weird. I'm not even offended by it or anything. It's just a fucking weird thing to do. So anyway, but that's a digression. The best of the Trick or Treat skins, the coolest one by far, is the Blitzcrank. Like, I fucking love Witch's Brew Blitzcrank. I love that he's a sentient witch's cauldron with this giant eyeball hanging out on top of it that wanders around on these big clumsy feet. That's a really, really cool skin concept for Blitzcrank. I really love it. I loved this the moment I saw it. I fell in love with him instantly. It's a fantastic little Halloween-themed skin. On the other side, there's Kitty Cat Katarina, who's like... She's not even dressed as a kitty cat. Like, she just has cat ears and a furry bra. It's another one of those skins that, like... I don't mind sexy skins. I like sexy skins. Skins are allowed and supposed to be sexy. But this isn't even that. Like, she doesn't even look hot. Like, this isn't that sexy. It's just a bra and panties. It's not hot. It's not sexy. It doesn't have that... No. It's just a lady in skimpy costume. It's not hot. And that makes it a bit of a failure in my book, because the whole point of Kitty Cat Katarina is that it's a sexy skin, except they didn't really make it sexy. Just skimpy, which is like, eh. Right. Moving on. What do we have next? True Damage. Right. Well, True Damage goes up to the S tier. I really, really, really like True Damage. I guess as a skin line, it goes up to S tier. It has a weak point, and we're going to talk about that. But absolutely the best True Damage skin also is Kiana. Like, because it's supposed to be a bunch of, like, it's supposed to be this modern pop stars skin at circa 2018-19. It's supposed to reflect the landscape of modern pop at the time, and for my money, it does that pretty much perfectly as a skin line. And True Damage Kiana is... I could 110% buy that this is just like a real fucking pop star that they put in the game. Like, the aesthetic is captured perfectly. She looks hot, she looks cool, and the song that comes along with it rules as well. I really like that. And like, True Damage Echo is fantastic as well. The one thing that doesn't work for me, the one thing that just isn't that great in True Damage is Yasuo. And again, it's because like, well, what's accurate about Yasuo is that pop music nowadays has a huge, like, class of celebrity producers, celebrity DJs, like people who are, like, massive producers who also have their own music careers on the side, producing music and stuff like that, who do DJing and things like that, and are iconic in that regard. But Yasuo just doesn't... He doesn't look like... The thing about EDM DJs and like all the producer set in modern pop music is that they're all kind of boring, and Yasuo copies that boringness. And he's just kind of, oh yeah, he's got speakers on his shoulders, I guess, for some reason, and he uses his sword on the mixing table but of all the true damage skins, this one just has the least personality. Like, there's the least point to him. If you took him away, true damage would still rule. Like, they wouldn't be lesser for it. And it's fine. Like, it's fine, but it's very much the weak point of true damage. It feels like it was Yasuo just because Yasuo was popular, which is probably the case, but that sucks. Yeah, gamer Yasuo. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, Vandal. That's another solid C line for me. Vandal is another one of those skin lines that was sort of put together from a bunch of skins that, like, I think it was one of the early actual true skin lines in League of Legends, because you have Vandal, Brand, Gragas, Jax, Twitch, and Vladimir. But they also kind of copy the whole Road Warrior thing-ish, but instead of being like Mad Max Road Warrior in the desert, it's more of a sort of Ghost Rider Road Warrior, but on the American highways kind of thing-esque. But it overlaps a lot with the aesthetic of Road Warrior, and it's like, it's not well differentiated on its own, unfortunately. Still, I'm quite fond of Vandal Twitch, just because he's got that bebop rocksteady energy, like 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain character, like with the big green shades and the mohawk for some reason, and plaid pants, because I don't know. It's like, I'm quite fond of him. On the other hand, Vandal Jax, I don't know why he's a Vandal. Like, I don't know how the hell he fits into the Vandal skin. Like, the Vandal skin line is all motorcycles and leather jackets and shit. And then there's Vandal Jax, who's just like, I'm a samurai monk guy with a nail bat. Yeah. It's not an interesting skin line to talk about, especially, so... So, the Versus skin line, another slightly unique one that I kinda debated not putting into the game, but Versus includes Battle of the God Kings, Dawnbringer, Nightbringer, and Order versus Chaos, which means we have God King Darius and Garen, we have Dawnbringer, Karma, Nidalee, and Soraka, we have Nightbringer, Aphelios, Lee Sin, Soraka, Vladimir, and we have Dawnbringer, Riven, and Nightbringer, Yasuo. So it's that whole thing of, like, cosmic powers aligned against one another, God Kings, and all that stuff. The skin line itself is, like, it's high quality, but it's not exciting to me. And I've never really been able to get into it. The best one of the bunch, I think, is Nightbringer Aphelios, because, like, if you're gonna do sort of sad boy edgelord thing, Spirit of the Dark kind of tragic demon guy, yeah, having him cry tears of blood all the time works, and Aphelios is a good fit for the particular character model. Even if it, like, I don't have much to say about it because it's kind of painfully generic to me in a lot of ways. The worst one, though, and get ready for a surprise, it's Yasuo again, and it's a bit of a tragedy, because I really like Nightbringer Yasuo in his splash art. In his splash art, he looks amazing. Like, he has this gray palette, like, craggy skin with spikes coming out of it. He's got this dark, severe face, and his hair is on fire and thing. His character model, on the other hand, actually, let me just find the actual Nightbringer Yasuo character model for you here. Let's actually have an actual look at it, because it's such a freaking letdown compared to what the splash art is promising. Nightbringer Yasuo sucks. Like, he just is not good. If you just want to load up here. What is that hair? What is this Sonic the Hedgehog, well, Shadow the Hedgehog, rather, looking mess of nonsense that he's got for hair? Where is his, like, charred, dark, demonic-like skin? What the fuck is this helmet that makes his head look 5 times bigger than it's supposed to be? In the splash art, he's all slick and sleek and kind of pared back and kind of sparse and brutal. And then in the splash art, he looks like a rejected Tekken character. I don't know what the hell happened. Complete fucking letdown. Like, the splash art promises way more than the model can deliver, and the model itself looks kinda goofy. So no, like, God King Darius and God King Garen are, like, fine-ish, but they're also kind of boring. Anyway, Warden, that's another one down with Marauder in the F tier, because, again, it's just, what if character, but armor? And I appreciate a good set of armor, like, on female characters, but it's not interesting. I think the best one's Nautilus and the worst one is Jax, but they all equally kind of suck in my eyes. I don't like the Warden line at all. Which leads us on to Warring Kingdoms. So, Warring Kingdoms is technically part of Lunar Revel. Also, along with all the other Lunar Revel skins, which, boy howdy, League of Legends sure has a lot of Chinese-themed skins, doesn't it? And it's like, as a skin line, it's like fine. I sort of waver between putting in an A tier for the good ones, like Warring Kingdoms Azir is fucking amazing. I love Warring Kingdoms Azir. Then there's Warring Kingdoms Garen, who's a little bit generic. Warring Kingdoms Katarina, who's even more generic. And then there's Warring Kingdoms Vi, who fucking rules. And then there's Warring Kingdoms Tryndamere, who fucking rules. And then there's Xin Shao, who's not that great. And there's Dragonblade Talon, who's not that great. I go back and forth on it. I guess I'll put it in an A tier because Warring Kingdoms Azir is especially good, but mostly I put it in A tier because it has frickin' Lu Bu in it. And like, I don't play Dynasty Warriors that much anymore, but it has frickin' Lu Bu in it. It's Lu Bu! That's so cool! I can't be mad at that. And the weakest one of the bunch, I think, is Dragonblade Talon, just because it doesn't really have that epic Chinese fantasy feel to it so much as many of the other skins do. See, I'll be generous and put in A. It probably belongs in B. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, grab a tiger by its toe, blah, blah, blah. A tier, why not? Let's see. Happy birthday, but they ruined Dark Candy Fiddle. I think he looks great, but that's me. Super Kirby, thank you. Happy Cake Day, TB Scan. It's 1 more year of existing, and it will be exhausting. Oh, really? I hadn't noticed. Linnea Dark, thank you. Happy birthday. Please take care of your voice. I will. I'm gonna have tea after I'm done here. Austin Schneckenburger. Is that American, or is it Austin Schneckenburger, or is it Austin Schneckenburger? Happy birthday. Hope it's going really well. Love all your content. Thank you very much, dude. That's a generous super chat. Thank you. So, moving on to Woad. Now, Woad is another one of those sort of that got put together a little bit haphazardly because it includes Battleborn Kayle and Exiled Morgana, but it also has Woad Ashe, Woad King Darius, and Woad Scout Quinn. And it's another C tier, where I just don't feel like it brings very much to League of Legends as a whole. I think it could be expanded on and made a lot better if they did more with it, but for the moment, it's not that great. I do like me some Woad Quinn, though. I do like me some. It's Quinn's best skin by far. And I'm like, good abs, strong lady with furs on who looks cool. Yeah, that's my trash. I'm into it. I very much like that. And then on the other side of the coin, Battleborn Morgana and Kayle both aren't that great, I think. But with Morgana, it's mostly that I can't really see, because the whole Woad thing is supposed to be this sort of Celtic Pictish, sort of like ancient Germanic British Isles kind of a warrior aesthetic thing going on, and Battleborn Kayle and Morgana just don't, or Exile Morgana, Battleborn Kayle and Exile Morgana just don't fit into it very well. And I think Morgana is the worst one of them. Is like, they feel like they come from a somewhat different fantasy universe and kind of wandered into Woad sort of by accident. Woad Ash is one of the better Ash skins, by the way. Like, it's one of the ones that makes her character model make a little bit more sense. Right, Wonders of the World. Let's see, what was it that skin line included? That included Bear Cavalry, Sejuani Dynasty, Ari Festival, Queen Anivia, Masked Shaco, Mai Tai, Lee Sin, Myrmidon, Pantheon, Oktoberfest Gragas, Outback Renekton, Panda Timo, Shamrock Malphite, Statue of Karthus, Sultan Gangplank, Sultan Tryndamere, Uncle Rise, Viking Tryndamere, and Winged Hussar Sin Shao. You'll notice there's 2 Tryndamere skins in this line, actually. Viking Tryndamere, Jesus Christ. And it's not great. It's another skin line that's sort of halfway made up of joke skins and halfway made up of random skins that just didn't fit anywhere else. The best of the bunch is Bear Cavalry Sejuani, in my opinion. I think that that old Soviet, like, literally riding a bear into battle, kind of like outfitted like a old T-30 something battle tank. Yeah, that works for me. I like that the bear has a little like a scar, a bandage over one eye because it's been scarred. That's a very cool skin, really nice execution, very well put together. But unfortunately, it has to share a skin line with this bullshit. Green Malphite with a shamrock on his chest. It's an old palette swap skin from back in the day that has never been updated, and they've never really done anything with it. And it's bad. Like, Malphite is already kind of a bad character design, and then on top of that, they just made him green and gave him a shamrock. So, yeah, it's like, not much to talk about it. Ugh. Homestretch. Don't pursue J4. Yeah. And Azir is 100% Xiangliang. Sin is Zhaoyun? Shao? Trundle is also the legendary Guan Yu, and I suspect Garen is Sun Quan. Yeah, it's Warring Kingdoms, it's Warring States period stuff. I'm not really an expert on it. I mostly know stuff from Dynasty Warriors, so. Mai Tai Lee Sin is a nice reference if you're into MMA or kickboxing. Yes, I know. Happy birthday, thank you very much. Now there's World Breaker. That's another... Because the quality of the skins is good, I'll put World Breaker at a B tier, but it's another one of those that, like, I could very easily decide to put it in C tier instead. Is like, But, like, World Breaker, I like World Breaker Trundle. Like, you've got this sort of Mesoamerican, Mayan, I'm not 100% sure what the aesthetic differences are, but, like, Mesoamerican, Middle American, maybe slightly South American, depending on the region, kind of end of the world, you know, the Mayan calendar predicts the world will end in 2012. That seems to be the concept behind this skin line. And for that, it's fine. I think I like Trundle the best. I think I like Hecarim the least well, but I just can't get myself to spend a lot of time thinking about them too much because they're not, to me, they don't really hit on any of the aesthetics that I'm especially interested in. They don't really do much for me. So for me, it's like, yeah, B tier. I'm perfectly happy with that. Which leaves us only with, I think, Zombies and Slayers, which is Zombie Brand, Zombie Nunu, Zombie Raya, Zombie Slayer Jinx, and Zombie Slayer Pantheon. Now, I really like Zombie Slayer Jinx and Pantheon, and I really like Zombie Nunu and Willem, but the skin line as a whole feels like more of a C tier to me, because zombies are so fucking boring. They're just played out. I can't get interested in anything that has to do with zombies anymore. For my money, the best one is definitely Nunu and Willem on this one again, just because it's a great execution of the whole, like, tiny evil scientist riding their, like, mad scientist monster creation into battle. That works for me. But like I said, I'm not that hype on any of them. The worst one is probably Zombie Rise, just because there doesn't seem to be a lot to it. It's just what if Rise, but zombie. Whereas the other skins like Zombie Slayer, Jinx, and Pantheon, and Zombie Nunu and Willem have much more of a concept to them. They have much more of a visual universe that they exist as a part of. Whereas Brand and Rise are a little bit, it's just what if character, but zombie. So, that's about it. Right, there were some super chats before we end. Happy birthday, and I'd like to request if you can request animated music video reviews. You can on my Patreon if you subscribe at one of the higher tiers, but not Shamrock. It's my good luck Malphite skin. I hope it brings you great luck in solo queue. Like, I hope it really does, but it's not a good skin at all. And anyway, that's it. S tier, Blood Moon, Demonic, Odyssey, Omega Squad, Omen of the Dark, Spirit Blossom, and True Damage, and all the way down at the F tier, Commando, Glacial, Headhunter, High Society, Marauder, Riot, and Warden. I'll put the link to this tier list in chat and in the description. If you want to make your own. Then you can go and do that, and you can feel free to tweet it at me. I'll be happy to retweet some of them, I think. Because this is just my opinion. This is just my set of opinions. I made all these freaking icons and assets, so I want somebody to be able to use them. And thank you all very much for tuning in. I see a lot of you are starting to leave because the stream is winding down, which is perfectly fair. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for sticking around on the channel and letting me do this for a job. That's literally only possible because of you guys, and I'm very grateful for that. Oops. Oh no, I have feelings. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you very much for all the super chats. And thanks for indulging me. I wanted to do this just because it's fun on my birthday. And yeah, I'm gonna go eat some cake now and drink some tea for my voice. And oh, thank you for the super chat. Happy birthday and thank you for the work. Thank you very much, Wandering Soul. Thank you, Gamball Arts, as well. And yeah, back to normal work. I'm gonna be editing some Dark Souls. I'm gonna work on what's the deal with Lilia as soon as possible so we can get into Yone. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. So thank you for indulging me. Thank you for sticking around for my birthday. I hope you'll make your own tier lists, because, again, it took me so fucking long to make all these icons. And yeah, I hope you all have a good night. Whew, I need some more water.